Hello and welcome to Monday Morning on TV3. It's time for the morning news. My name is Na Ashoko. National Communications Authority defends SIM card re-registration exercise after uncovering that over 2 million SIM cards lack proper facial verification. Council for Scientific and Industrial Research raises alarm over serious health risks which are linked to water and crop contamination by heavy metals. Government introduces new measures to boost tomato production in Ghana following Burkina Faso export ban. And now to the details. Fraud and security consultant Richard Kumado says the Inspector General of Police cannot be held responsible for the alleged altercation involving visual artist Ibrahim Mahama and a police Black Maria team in Tamale on Saturday. According to him, the IGP did not authorize any such operation in Tamale and has therefore called for a full-scale investigation into the incident. His comments follow reports that Ibrahim Mahama and some of his staff were allegedly assaulted over the weekend in Tamale.
Involved, the police officers and the alleged victim have also confirmed that the incident actually took place in Tamale. It's just proper and appropriate that the Tamale police will investigate the case. We are trying to malign the IGP Christian Teteyohono with the word Black Maria. We are all aware that he has officially called out Black Maria out of Tamale municipality, and the Tamale Police Regional Command set up what they call Red Malia. These are officers who work within the operational team of Black Maria who find themselves in the center of this assault case. We cannot say this is a Black Maria operations. And if outcome of investigations prove same, then the IGP will take even more firm actions against the officers. That is to say that has the IGP approved a Black Maria operation in Tamale, or individuals who work with Black Maria has taken the law into their own hands, or individuals who work with Black Maria find themselves at Tamale on their private visit and they are acting as independent law enforcement officers who have the mandate and ability to control traffic. But then again, in doing so, it led to authentication. So they wouldn't look at it and sanction it as IGP has sanctioned Black Maria in Tamale.
Now, the National Communication Authority has moved to reassure the public over the planned new SIM card registration exercise, addressing concerns around data privacy, cost, and the use of external contractor to manage the process. The Director General of the National Communications Authority, Reverend Engineer Edmond Yuenchifiankun, spoke on hot issues.
The registration of SIM cards in Ghana has not been without controversy. Questions about who handles subscriber data, who pays for the exercise, and whether personal information is truly protected have been circulating among the public and civil society groups alike. The Director General of the National Communication Authority, Edmond Yuenchifiankun, is now pushing back against these concerns, insisting that the process is built on a foundation of ethics and legal safeguards.
The LI is also putting in processes for anybody, including, National Security, Cyber Security Authority. You need a court order to be able to access. So let's say the police, and that's happening today, the police or CID are investigating somebody. They don't have a direct access to the system. You get me? So they have to obtain a court order served on us before we can authorize whoever to release the data.
On the cost of the exercise, he was equally firm, stating that the financial burden will not fall on the Ghanaian taxpayer.
We, as the NCA, we have a mandate in this. Apart from our regular work of providing regulation, we also do consumer education. Okay, if we put together an infomercial and we bring it to TV3, you will require us to pay something. That's how you make money. Okay. Right. and the national processes. Okay, the state also spends on all of you. We will work with GIBA, we'll work with GBC. Airtime is not free. You get me? I'm sure you will run some adverts on this. So
there will be some administrative costs from the NCA.
And I'm saying these are standard
but the
costs.
Exercise itself, the system that you're building.
No, that one we will not be paying. And I've given you examples. Like we did number portability. Not the regulator didn't pay anything. The state didn't pay anything.
The state will
it
not pay
became
anything.
a service. What we do is to select the person providing that independent service to the players in the market.
He acknowledged openly that the NCA lacks the internal technical capacity to develop the system on its own.
Normally, what we would determine is the technical requirements. Okay, we want the system to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the person who does it must be able to deliver A, B, C, D, E. Then we say, okay, whatever procurement method that the ministry will determine to deploy is to ensure that these people, whoever is part of that process, one, has the qualification to be able to deliver that, and two, demonstrates by their submission that they are able to do it within the time that is required.
So yes or no, the NCA right now does not have the capacity to be able to do that?
No.
You don't.
The number of developers we have in-house and the work that they are doing today, we cannot saddle them with that additional duty.
The authority says it is committed to a process that respects the rights of every subscriber, but with public trust still fragile, many Ghanaians will be watching to see whether today's assurances move beyond words.
And now on water. The Ghana Water Limited is urging the public and institutions to work together to ensure sustainable water supply, stressing that the need for responsible water use, prompt bill payment, protection of water bodies, and an end to illegal connections. In a World Water Day 2026 statement, the managing director of the company, Adam Matakwakilu, noted challenges such as pollution, aging infrastructure, and the rising demand due to urbanization, but says it is expanding systems and improving efficiency to ensure reliable access to safe water for all. Here are some key points in his statement. Water access as a development and equality issue. Reliable access to safe water is essential for improving livelihoods, promoting gender equality, and supporting national development. Infrastructure and operational challenges. Aging infrastructure, high treatment costs, and increasing demand driven by urbanization and population growth are affecting efficient water supply. Environmental pressures on water sources. Pollution of rivers and other bodies is reducing raw water quality and increasing the cost of treatment. Strategic interventions to improve service delivery. Ghana Water Limited is investing in system expansion, modern treatment technologies, partnerships, and operational efficiency improvements. Shared responsibility for sustainability. Government institutions and the public must work together by conserving water, protecting water bodies, paying bills promptly, and discouraging illegal connections. Still on water, a research scientist at the CSIR Research Institute, Dr. Kweku Shesofor Asante, has warned of serious health risks associated with consuming water and crops which are contaminated with heavy metals due to the rising illegal mining activities in the country. Ghana joined the rest of the world on March 22 to observe World Water Day under the theme Water and Gender, where water flows, equality grows, highlighting efforts to address the global water crisis.
The issue of illegal mining has serious implications for water quality and availability. So from our scientific investigation and observation and within the agriculture context, water affects food security in three main ways. So the first is that more associated with production, crops depend on reliable and clean water contaminated water affects soil health and reduces yield. Another point is on food safety, where polluted water introduces heavy metals into crops and fish stock, which also have long-term health effects. In fact, our work at the Galamsey area in assessing crops produced with mining, water, because of the Galamsey activities, the water bodies used to irrigate the crops resulted in high level of mercury, lead, arsenic, and cadmium above the permissible level in food. Actually, we assessed cassava, plantain, and then cocoyam, and we saw that the permissible limits of these heavy metals were far exceeded, and that shows that indeed there's critical need to look at the kind of water we use to irrigate crops. And so the final bit is on livelihood, where the farmers we deal with and the fisher fools lose a lot of income when water bodies are degraded. So there's real call for attention to the water quality and water gender issues.
Away from water, Ghana's motion to declare the transatlantic slave trade the greatest crime against humanity is gaining global support ahead of its presentation at the United Nations General Assembly. President John Dramani Mahama is set to table the motion and push for reparative justice, while Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa remains confident of strong backing.
Very confident that we will succeed. We have been able to form a strong coalition working with colleagues in CARICOM, Latin America, Asia, and the Gulf countries. And we believe that we will be able to galvanize the support of the larger international community. And it is important to emphasize that this atrocity has not been properly acknowledged. There are many countries and organizations that continue to live in denial. They do not want to accept their role. They do not want to take responsibility. And that is what this resolution seeks to achieve, to bring this to the international community's attention at the United Nations, the global public square, and to seek a genuine effort by the international community to address this, to compensate people of African descent and all Africans for this atrocious crime that took place. There are also millions of artifacts that were stolen. We are demanding that they are returned to the continent. We want restitution.
Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, however, debunked assertions that the reparation being sought will only enrich the African elite and the political class.
We must emphasize that the reparations we seek is not financial support to go to political leaders, not at all. We are putting together a framework that will support the people, the real victims, in terms of educational endowment funds. Because remember that we are still living with the injustices, with the residual inequality that people of African descent face on a daily basis. So the reparations we seek is to ensure that these structural inequalities are addressed in terms of funding for projects, funding for African entrepreneurs, the young people who need opportunities, who need skills training, who need empowerment. So courses, that is what we are looking at, not funding for politicians or, if you like, a few elite to control or to, if you like, abuse. So it's going to be a very transparent mechanism.
Martin Asiedu-Date for TV3 News.
And now pressure is mounting on the government to speed up the introduction of mandatory food labeling policy as cases of kidney disease and other non-communicable diseases continue to rise. At a press briefing, Send Ghana and its partners said clear front of pack warning labels should help people easily see how much salt, sugar and fat are in the foods they consume.
Current regulations from the Food and Drugs Authority require back-of-pack labeling, but enforcement remains uneven and ineffective. More critically, there is no operational policy mandating front-of-pack labeling, especially warning labels for ingredients or nutrients of concern, such as added sugars, sodium, and unhealthy fats. Policy advocacy groups, including Send Ghana, believe this guide consumers to make healthier choices. Professor Kingsley Prekon of the Ghana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics warned that the growing burden of these diseases is not only affecting health, but also draining incomes and threatening livelihoods, especially for families and children. At a media briefing in Accra, Levelin Kunedu Esiedo, the project lead at Send Ghana, said Ghana was facing a growing public health challenge as kidney disease cases continued to rise, placing increasing pressure on families and the health system.
Across Ghana, ultra-processed foods such as instant noodles, energy drinks, sugary drinks, highly processed chips and biscuits are becoming increasingly common. They are in our markets, provisions and grocery stores, offices, homes, and even in our schools. They are being sold to our children as snacks. They are cheap, convenient, and require little or no preparation, making them an easy choice for many people with busy schedules and even limited resources.
She wants government to fast-track the front-of-pack's warning labeling and curb rising debts.
Ghana is already on the right path. The Ministry of Health is currently working to develop the FOPWL policy, and we commend government for this effort. We make this passionate appeal to the Minister for Health, Honorable Kwabena Mensah Akando, to own and champion this policy's birth and implementation.
And that's it for the morning news. We'll be back with the rest of TV3 Newday. My name is Na Ashoko. Stay with us.
Adisa Plus Parental Control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked across the app. Trying to play restricted content prompts for the PIN. Correct entry unlocks access for that session. Multiple incorrect attempts can temporarily lock access. Parental control on Adisa Plus. Available now. Adisa Plus. Safe streaming your way. Adisa Plus Parental Control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked across the app. Trying to play restricted content prompts for the PIN. Correct entry unlocks access for that session. Multiple incorrect attempts can temporarily lock access. Parental control on Adisa Plus. Available now. Adisa Plus. Safe streaming your way. Adisa Plus Parental Control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked across the app. Trying to play restricted content prompts for the PIN. Correct entry unlocks access for that session. Multiple incorrect attempts can temporarily lock access. Parental control on Adisa Plus. Available now. Adisa Plus. Safe streaming your way. Adisa Plus Parental Control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked across the app. Trying to play restricted content prompts for the PIN. Correct entry unlocks access for that session. Multiple incorrect attempts can temporarily lock access. Parental control on Adisa Plus. Available now. Adisa Plus. Safe streaming your way. Adisa Plus Parental Control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked across the app. Trying to play restricted content prompts for the PIN. Correct entry unlocks access for that session. Multiple incorrect attempts can temporarily lock access. Parental control on Adisa Plus. Available now. Adisa Plus. Safe streaming your way. Adisa Plus Parental Control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked across the app. Trying to play restricted content prompts for the PIN. Correct entry unlocks access for that session. Multiple incorrect attempts can temporarily lock access. Parental control on Adisa Plus. Available now. Adisa Plus. Safe streaming your way. Adisa Plus Parental Control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked.
friends correcting me all the time. So I've decided I've recused myself from speaking this morning. But how was your weekend and the holidays? It's been a long one.
Yeah, it's been a long, relaxing one for me.
Wow.
Yes, I spent a lot of time watching TV3 over the weekend, so I was indoors. My TV
I saw you
on.
running some kilometers. We just do it.
Oh, I did 40 kilometers. Yes. I did a 40-kilometer run, but it was over 3 days.
You're always on my FYP and timeline, so it always appears.
And your people constantly comment under my post and say, "Where is Roland? Why are you not going with Roland?"
and then you tell them I'm the one holding the camera.
You're the one who has been taking the behind the scenes. Behind the scenes photos for me.
40 kilometers is from like here to where?
Oh no, so I didn't do it at a go. I did 40 kilometers over 3 days. So I did 10 kilometers, I did 15, and then, I did 10, I did 19, and then I did 9.
But that would be like distance from here to where?
So let me show you. You see the motorway, the beginning of the motorway to the end.
Okay.
That's about 16,
beginning is just
18
after the
kilometers.
Accra Mall, right?
Yes.
Okay.
To the Tema end. That's 16, 18 kilometers.
I see.
Oh, wow.
Two of that.
So if you do a round robin, you're going to get 36 kilometers.
So it'll be like, let's say from here to the end.
Then you add additional 4 kilometers. So basically, and it's a long stretch.
That's a long stretch.
Yes, that's nice.
Well, that's what I spent
So you did it in 3 parts?
Yes, I did it in 3 parts. I did 19, 19.5, 9.5, and then 10. So
Okay.
So next time I'll take you with me.
So certainly. So for many people, with the exception of Na as well as others, it was or has been a holiday that is well steeped in exercising as well as wellness, so to speak. She also took the time to watch TV3 because, for many of us, we don't have the time really. We have to go back.
We don't get to watch Day to Rush
so we have to go back the videos and see what's up to speed before.
But this weekend, my TV was on.
It was
just on.
Yeah.
I was
enjoying. I can bet you the last time you on it would have been a long time.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody when you're an adult. But you're looking splendid. Anybody sponsoring you this morning or?
This one is from our TV3 wardrobe.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So Miss Nancy and her team in our wardrobe and makeup.
I know that Adiza,
Kubura.
Adiza Ibrahim.
Kubura, yes.
Usually will bring us. I don't know whether this time she did.
It's from her, but I wouldn't be surprised because this is so pretty.
Yeah.
I'm realizing I could have made a beautiful hajia.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
And the way you're dressed with the hair covered, and then you put it on, we could have transposed you into the environment or the city of Tehran in Iran. Then you face some Israeli bombings as well.
You love Nashoko that much.
Yeah.
Don't mind Roland.
Yeah.
Anyway.
To be a straight Muslim woman.
You mentioned Adiza. Yeah, Adiza sells these outfits. She sells, I think, some of the nicest ones. I probably don't know. What are they called?
Is it abaya?
Abaya, okay.
Yes.
There's abaya.
So she sells very beautiful ones. And on Friday, she put on her Facebook wall that she's not going to give any of us some of her Eid Jollof.
Oh.
Adiza, I was so hurt when I saw it because I had you in mind when I thought about eating Eid Jollof and goats. And she woke up very early in the morning and cooked, and she referenced some of the recipes that her late mother had taught her. But most importantly, she said she would not give us because you Christians don't share meat or your jollof during Christmas. You don't share anything.
Oh, we don't?
You eat it amongst yourselves. But on Muslim holidays, you expect your Muslim friends to supply you meat. And so I have learnt. So my fellow non-Muslims, let's learn to share too, so that during Eid, because during Eid, we'll also get meat. Because I haven't even received one chicken thigh.
Okay, so this is not the salad that they share items.
They don't share.
Not even the chicken.
Yeah, so they
not even the jollof.
This is Eid al-Fitr. So the Eid al-Adha is when
it's a big one.
Yes,
it's
that's when they share food. They do everything else.
So if I had gone to a Muslim friend's house, it would just be a normal.
It's going to be a very
small
underwhelming one.
Okay.
But the Eid al-Adha. Yeah, the big one where they share food and then give out a lot of money to those who don't have, etc. Even to non-Muslims, it's always Eid al-Adha.
When is that?
No, but they actually give.
That'll be around May, June also.
May, June.
Yeah, they give as well during this one, because I heard Ibrahim Abubakar on Friday when we spoke to him saying
no, they still give.
Yes,
they for example, I have Sheikh Abubakar Napar of the Light Foundation giving out to a lot of people.
But it's a modest
yes,
one.
This one is quite underwhelming, yes. But usually the Eid al-Adha is a big one. That one, Charlie.
But are they all called Salah? Are they all called Salah?
They're all called Salah.
They're all called Salah. Okay, I see. So, well, in that case, I'll wait for the big one.
So you should,
for my meat.
You should start strengthening your ties with your Muslim friends and keep reminding them that
I'm looking for new Muslim friends. So I'm looking for new, and I'm also looking for land in Bolga to buy, so that I can cement my affiliations to my Muslim family. And speaking of Bolga, I'm sure. I mean.
Okay, so the Eid al-Adha will be from Tuesday 26 to 27.
May.
May.
Okay.
That also will be a holiday.
Okay. Now I was just
only that it won't be 2 holidays.
1 day. One day.
Because last year the president did
just 1 day.
Yeah, last year was a day, just a day.
Oh, I see. Anyway, so I saw a post online about somebody asking about the fact that we are a very multi-religious country. We're Christian, we're Muslim, African traditional religion, and so on. But then the holidays we observe, the religious holidays we observe, are only Christian and Muslim. But what about the traditional, African traditional religions? They also deserve their own holidays.
But there are also Buddhists and things in Ghana.
Exactly.
So if we go that way.
For all the religions that we acknowledge, we must pay them the respects that they deserve by observing their celebrations as well. It was a post I saw online, a long one. I think it was by a traditionalist who said that these holidays are good, but then they are discriminatory, you know, against the religions which we acknowledge, but will not allow them to take days off to celebrate. So their children have to go to school on the days, like important traditional religious festival days, you know. But when it's Christian or Muslim, we are in a hurry to declare them public holidays, and so that's a conversation that we might have to have in the very near future.
But the point is, when it comes to African traditional religion, I think each tribe and community and group of people
has its own.
There are days and periods for celebration. So I don't know how that's going to run.
I have no idea. But I felt like it was something worth talking about.
I think we need to discuss
Yes,
that.
it's something worth talking about.
Because once the Constitution, as enshrined, says that there should be freedom of religion, it also means that once we give recognition to foremostly Christianity and then also Islam, then those who are canvassing or advocating have a good cause.
Yes, I think it's a conversation that might.
I agree.
We will have to have
at least for
soon.
nothing at all, for African traditional religion, we need to dedicate a day. Yeah. Because when you go to Benin, and in my early years, I used to do a lot of stories on tourism in Benin. I think you were there, right?
Yeah. No, I
so
wasn't.
you go to with Gambier and all those places, you find
but
that
Benin, they have a lot of voodoo places.
Traditional religion. Yeah, it's also a form of worship and religion as well. In my growing up, I watch a lot of Hindu movies, so Bollywood.
Yeah.
All of us did.
I'm a fan of Indian movies.
Okay.
And so you find them, you know, worshipping and doing that. And we're watching it. Nothing was wrong. I still watch it up to today. And even in Ghana, those who really work with Indians closely know that once they want to adore their new extensions for their plants or factories, etc., they have to put in their sacrificial
In fact,
things.
if you go to the shops, you know, there's many like
sometimes they're hanging some pepper or something.
You see the incense, you see the little, I think it's the Buddha.
Yes, like a place of worship, an altar. Or
you see them in
the miniature store altars that they have around.
And so we acknowledge all these religions and we respect the diversity, religious diversity that, you know, we observe in this country. And so perhaps as we consider which religions should have their own holidays, it should be a broader conversation to consider all the religions that are known to be observed in the country.
I'm not sure where I stand on that. I think it's going to cause chaos if we really are going to look at each and every one.
Not each, at least give the
African traditional religion.
the next most significant.
Yeah.
And that would be the African tradition.
I think that
maybe the crife in you is not allowing.
But don't you think that is discriminatory?
I'm not too sure about that.
I think it's discriminatory.
See,
we don't think
so
it's discriminatory.
yesterday I was speaking with my sister in UK, and she was and she's got friends who are Muslims. And then I said, oh, so they are also, I mean, this is a global celebration. It means that you probably have holidays. And she said, no. What it is that UK employers have been told, or it's understood that when somebody is a Muslim and it is during these days, the person should apply for their leave and you shouldn't deny them. Okay. But it's not like a public holiday where, you know, people like we are enjoying here. But of course, Christmas and the other Christian ones, they do celebrate. So I don't know. I really don't know how we can say that we have to. But I understand.
From what I understand, discrimination to mean is based on a person's whatever religion, their race, their ethnicity, their gender, and so on. You allow certain privileges to certain people, and you deny certain privileges to other people based on these criteria. So it could be religion, their gender, their ethnic group, their skin color, and so on.
Yes. I
so
think a bit.
If certain religions are allowed to publicly celebrate their occasions, and those days are declared public holidays, to the exclusion of other religions, I think then that smacks of discrimination, doesn't it?
Yeah, the only bit perhaps I may share your view on will be the traditional thing, because Africans are known to be,
that is our
own. The traditional continent, as it were. So that year, I think there could be a day dedicated to that, so that any other religion that is not in Christianity or Islam can then find itself in that kind of holiday or category. But otherwise, if you're picking it one by one, I really don't know how that is going to
work. It'll be a tall order.
Yes.
Anyway. Well, we're wishing our Muslim family, brothers and sisters and friends, the very best of this day. Is there a special activity to mark today?
No, not today. Is just for reveling.
Okay.
You sit with the family, eat and drink, etc. And so I'm told we have cash out, but before then I have Rafiq Salam, you know, works with Joy News. He says that Eid al-Fitr simply means festival of feasts. Eid al-Adha is a festival of sacrifice, and the intervals are 70 days. So Rafiq Salam, our Muslim brothers and sisters, giving us a lot of ideation when it comes to them contributing. And then Sheikh Abubakar Napar of the Life Foundation, good morning to you, Sheikh, says that we look very splendid. That's why we're a great TV station. And say happy Eid to all Muslim brothers and sisters across Ghana and the world. Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napar. But we have cash out as well. Goes with the Shoku star 439 hash. So as much as possible, please make sure that you're part with us. And Na is going to make this possible. I'm told that Na is instigating and they're oiling the dashboard.
Nice. Now, how much are you giving?
Today, I'm in my big woman era. Like, I think we should give away 15,000 Ghana.
15.
Oh, that's lovely.
15,000 Ghana.
How are we sharing?
Shall we do 1,500 to 10 people, or shall we give 15K to one person?
Let's see how we're going to. So please make sure you're part of it. The most important thing is for you to be able to get access to that 15,000. It means that you have to dial star 439 hash.
Yes, but we are picking jackpot, right?
Yes. You choose option. You choose option
8, which is the jackpot.
Okay. Choose option 8.
So we are giving
I'm forgetting my jackpot
2,
lesson.
3. That's 5,000. Then 5 and 5, right?
Yes.
2, 3.
So this one
5,
you choose
5.
option 8.
Yes.
This one you choose option 8. All right. And then we're gonna give you what you deserve. We also have big issues this morning.
Yes.
Yeah. On a holiday, Shadrach is giving us big issues. We'll do big issues.
Please, what are we talking about? Big issues today.
Okay. So there's been a lithium deal that has been taken. So we're taking a comprehensive look at that this morning, and then we'll look at whether all of us are ready for the SIM card registration as well.
Yeah.
So that's well. I think we can talk about that for this morning's conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before that, though, Aziz Donla says, happy Eid to all Muslims across the globe. most especially the good people of Upper West Region, including all my vibrant NDC members in the Upper West Region. Indeed, this morning you're all looking fantastic, pretty, attractive, beautiful, gorgeous, and fabulous in your outfit. Okay. Best wishes to all my all-time best boss, Professor Mahmoud Khalid and Honorable Tanko Rashid Computer. That's Aziz Dola Wa. And today is actually the 11th wedding anniversary of the Gold Board PR, Prince Binka, and his wife. So wishing him all the best.
He's been married for 11 years,
yes.
Prince Binka.
Yes.
I see.
Wishing him all the best.
I thought he got married like last year or two.
Well, let's go into our this morning conversation now, and we're asking what you make of the SIM card registration exercise, which is set to take place soon. And there have been many conversations back and forth about the SIM card registration exercise, which happened in the past under the previous administration, and what is to happen now. What are your thoughts? Let us know. We're going to put the phone number on the screen in a moment, and you can share your thoughts, questions, and concerns with us. And you can call us and talk, or you can go to our Facebook live stream and just leave your comments in the chat box below. We'll read them live on air. It's now time for This Morning.
And so we want to also take a comprehensive look this morning for the segment. Our question of this morning segment will be, what your own views about the impending SIM card registration? You know, this will be the second time in about 2 or 3 years that we're having this. The first one, you know, also undertaken. But before even that one, where we had a lot of milling crowd at various centers, especially the Awak Sports Stadium, we had another one that also was done virtually. But this time we're told that it's going to be virtual. So what do you make of the impending SIM card registration as a customer of the telecommunication companies or the service providers? And then what do you make of the justification? They want to sync everything together into the national identification database, and so just to, apart from many other objectives, make sure they reduce scammers as well, etc.
Yeah, and we saw that there have been some concerns about privacy and data protection, but we've been assured that at the core of this registration exercise is data and privacy protection. And so Ghanaians do not need to worry about their private information, you know, being accessed by whoever. Privacy is assured. And so far we know that according to the NIA, about 19 million Ghanaians have been enrolled. That's about 90% of the population have already been enrolled between the ages from 15 years old and above. And a good number of those people have also received their Ghana cards already. And so the question now that we see often on social media is, why do we need to register again? Considering how much it cost us to register, why do we need to come back to this conversation? And as is expected, we are hearing opinions from two sides of the political divide with concerns about cost, repetition, and the need to do this at all. But we want to find out from you this morning. What are your thoughts? Let us know. The phone number is on the screen. Call us and share your opinion with us. And is this something that you are eager to do? Is this something that you are looking forward to? What form should it take, really? The same as the previous registration exercise, or as we have become more digitally and technologically advanced, Is this something that we can do virtually? These are questions on the minds of Ghanaians. Master Planner from Kintampo has just joined us. Hello, Master Planner.
Hello, Ajia Na.
Good morning, Master Planner. Great to have you always.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say good morning to Ajia Alima. I think I see at the background today too. And then Ajia Sharifa Idris, good morning. Alhaji Baba Abdurrahman Roland, good morning. And then all TV3 workers. Before I proceed from my the question for the day, let me say a special Eid Mubarak to Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia, the next president of Ghana 2029, inshallah. And then also greet Henry Nanabuachi, lawyer. I think he will be the MPP first vice chairman, inshallah. The MPP delegates really are waiting for him because of the good work he did as national organizer. I know we will promote him to the vice chairman, inshallah. I think the SIM card registration. Sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay, the SIM card registration is a good call because the previous administration did its best to register every SIM card in Ghana. But my worry is the politicization the Honorable Sam George and other NDC members did when they were in opposition. You know, this SIM card registration started in 2012. It failed in 2012. Then the Nanado government in 2023 or 2022 also decided to do re-registration. So when you come as a government and you want to do new registration, you don't have to blame the only previous administration, which is Nanado administration. In 2012, NDC did same registration and it failed. So if you want to blame previous administration, blame the one who started with the same registration in 2012. If you do that, then you know that yes, you are criticizing constructively. But you don't go attacking only the MPP government. The NDC government also needs to be brought in. But all these things are past tense. You know, you have to focus as a country and see the way forward, the good direction that you all want to go. If you do that, I know both sides will support you. Both MPP members will support, NDC members will support. So we are begging the NDC. They should stop criticizing us now so that the registration she did was not in full, was no. We have to continue. If we have to access, let's close those gaps and then move forward as a country.
Thank you,
Master
Planner.
That will help the country to move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that call. You can also call us. Phone number is on the screen. What do you make of this SIM card registration exercise? A step in the right direction? Or do you agree with those who say that it's an absolute repetition and waste of time? Let us know. Do we have any messages coming in?
All right. So we have a couple of messages. So we'll quickly just go through. And then this one... okay, good morning to you, Randa Shao. So we have a couple of messages. This one says that this new SIM card registration is some way power. Why don't we get the thing done once and for all and completely in this country? It's just not. This is just not what it has to be. This also happens to our roads and many more. Every government will touch on already constructed ones just because the previous government didn't do a complete 100% work. What's all this? All right. And many people tend to agree with that as well. But we have Megina on the line.
Hello, Megina.
Hello.
Good morning. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
All right. Megina, you're live. What are your thoughts?
I greet you guys for keeping up to your work. You always update us, and we always feel happy and grateful to you. And also, let me take this opportunity to say hi to the Ahafo Regional Minister, Honorable Gardner, and one of the young CEO, Eric Ejay, is very good in terms of the work that the president has entrusted in him, giving to him. And last week, President was here to give grant to some of the beneficiaries. And I was happy when I saw a disabled person who is impacting lives of people, and he was awarded, I think, 50,000 Ghana cedis or something, and I was proud of that. Your mama to do that for people of that caliber, and I think it's helpful. Coming to biometric registration, I think I have problem with Ghana in terms of records. One, why should if biometric is mandatory, by birth you should get yourself registered. It shouldn't be something that you have to pay. I have issue with it. If the state is funded, there was money that was devoted for that project. Why, if I want Ghana, I have to pay for it? It doesn't speak well for me. And again, I don't have issue with the re-registration of the SIMs, but I have with the service that these telcos render to us. Poor service. We have to speak to that. The MTN, Vodafone or Telecel, whatever, Etetigo, they are not doing anything for us. It's very barbaric, very uncalled for. I mean, sometimes I need to cane them. So if the minister today want us to sit at our own comfort and do our registration ourselves, I think it will even the congestion at their centers. Go to MTN centers. I think their office is beautiful for to be sitting there queuing. Some will wake up in early dawn and be queuing for just to register their things. No. If I can do it at my own comfort, that one should be accepted. So I applaud the coach for that. But we shouldn't be changing here and there. But if we say we are doing that, we should stick to one thing and go forward. So if before you come out with something, you should do evaluation, you do underground check and see how feasible it is before you come out to do it. But sometimes bigger, no amount of white space can change about me. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that call. You can also call us. Let us know what your thoughts are on this SIM card registration exercise. The opinions are divided. But the NIA has told us that it's not just a telecommunications issue. It's not just a matter for the telcos. It's a matter of our identities as Ghanaians, and it's important that we comply. All right. Let's know what your thoughts are. We have another caller standing by. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name is Lithium, calling from Wa.
Great to have you. You're on air.
Yeah. I want to talk about the SIM registration.
Yes.
And I want to thank the government for that initiative. But my concern is about the MTN office or those managing the MTN. They are the people engineering the process. No matter what government has done to this, but MTN people will go out and tell them what to do again. Because they are benefiting from that. They are buying data, they are buying SIM cards all the day to do their work. So they are benefiting. Whatever they do, what the government do to save the citizens, the MTN will keep them how to go by this. So I am saying that with this one, government should tackle the MTN office, not the
all right.
That's my concern.
Most grateful.
Because
thank you so much.
Anybody complaining about
Thank you.
it,
Thank you so much for that call. We would like to be able to accommodate more callers. So when you call, I will kindly ask that you keep your submission brief so other people can call in. Also, remember this morning we're doing a mega jackpot on cash out. If you dial *439#, we're giving away 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and 5,000. It's a major jackpot today. So 15,000 cedis to go. The first draw will be 2,000, second 3,000, third 5,000, and the fourth will be 5,000. So dial *439# today. And today, don't select option 2 for TV3, no. You're supposed to select 8. Option 8, that's MG Mega Jackpot. That's how you win big on the show this morning. Back to our phone calls. Roland, your bestie is on the line.
Good morning, Alaji.
Roland.
Charlie, what's up?
That's right.
Nah. How did you celebrate Eid? Today is the final holiday.
We celebrate well in our day because Saturday and we celebrate, and some people celebrate Friday.
Alaji, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me clear?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes. I say we celebrate Saturday and we celebrate our own, and some people celebrate it Friday. That is one celebration, and we celebrate. So let me greet our Muslim brothers and sisters. But do you know that the Saturday we change Kukiti name? Ajialadi Ayamba, MP for Pusiga.
Oh, that's so.
We change it. Yes, we change him new name. So let me send my greeting to Shemi Mamuse and Alaji Alasan and my municipal chief executive Alasan Bagaman and chairman for so Powerful. Hold on. When you look at this same registration, I don't know how some members of MPP have problem with this same card registration. Look at how they punish the people. Why can you use my...
Alaji? Well, we seem to have lost Alaji there. So we have a couple of messages, and I'll read this one. This one is coming from Abladi in Ifia Kumazongo, and says that okay. Inflation rate is down, and then it's talking about MPP and DC matters. And then, but he says that the SIM card re-registration has been linked. The SIM card the card has been linked to our Ghana cards. How can that correction be made on our Ghana cards again? And that's from Abladi. Ifya Kumazongo also asking, looks like the same question. Randat was asking same. And then Mr. Stephen Peng, good morning to you. He says, what name have you given to Hajiana? But then Stephen Peng comments that listening to Sam George on Key Point last Saturday, I support the re-registration of the SIM cards. The mobile fraud is becoming a problem. It's concerning and too alarming. Stephen Peng giving us that message from WA. We have Courage Kotoka, who says that I'm concerned about the rising fuel prices at the pumps. The NDC government should try every possible means to ensure that the fuel price does not go up. If the fuel price reaches 17 Ghana cedis, the MPP will be happy. Papa, you say. And we have more callers now.
Yes. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the SIM card registration exercise. We're inviting you to give us a call. Let us know what your thoughts are. And we have another caller joining us now. Hello? Hello? All right, it looks like we've lost you there. Please call us back. The phone number is on the screen. We'll read some more of your messages coming in this morning on this matter. All right, I think do we already read Aziz Donle's message? He says, Eid to all Muslims across the globe, especially the good people of the Upper West region, including my vibrant NDC members in the Upper West region. Indeed, this morning, you're all looking fantastic. Best wishes to Boss Professor Mahmoud Khalid and Honorable Tanko Rashid Computer. And that's from Aziz Donla texting us from WA. We've got Don from Tamale joining us on the phone lines. Hello, Don.
Hello.
Good morning, Don. How are you?
Good morning.
Great to have you.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Roland Walker, Kukiti. Today, I saw Beatrice today.
Yes.
And I want to greet all of you for the good work that you are doing for TV3 and enlighten we those in Ghana here to know what is going on in the world.
Thank you. All right.
We celebrated our Salah on Saturday. That was 21st. And I'm so happy to extend my greetings to all my brothers, Muslims, and sisters who celebrated with us. I have to touch on the aspect of this SIM card registration. The SIM card registration actually is not a bad thing to go about, but I have a little bit challenge to do with how the network providers are not giving out quality service. I think if the minister could kindly look at that direction for us, because in fact, we are their customers. Mm-hmm. And being their customers, they need to give us quality service. That's what we really need. Look, if you come to Tamale here, they have 2 centers for registration. When you go to one of the centers, in fact, you will spend the whole day there as if you have nothing to do in the house or at workplace.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, it's a very big, tedious and challenging to us in Tamale. So if MTN or Telecel wants to really function very well in the northern part of Ghana, they really need to open other branches in order to facilitate things for their customers to be able to work. Their customers to be able to work, to be able to process this SIM card registration very well.
Okay.
And I realized that some people were raising the issue of cost. And I think when I listened to St. George, he was talking about saying that the cost will not be implicated on us, because he said the cost will be handled by what? The network providers. So I think people shouldn't look at that direction saying that cost have no implication on us. He said it's the network providers who handle the cost this time. So we should refrain from the aspect of saying that cost. No, we should take that out.
Thank you.
The whole listen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And have a blessed morning.
Have a beautiful morning too. We appreciate all of you who called us. Thank you so much for calling to let us know what your thoughts are on this matter of SIM card registration. We'll continue to bring you updates as we get them, and you're free to comment under our Facebook Live stream. All right. And to our Muslim brothers and sisters, I see a lot of you asking me for a Muslim name this morning. I don't have one. Maybe you can recommend one. Maybe you can recommend one. Yeah, you got one to recommend?
Haja Barkis.
Barkis. Very romantic name.
Barkisu.
Kisu. Barkisu. I like it. Thank you. Haja Barkisu, my name for the day. All right, so if you haven't cashed out, please do so now. Dial *439#. I've got 15,000 CDs to give you. 2,000 CDs, 3,000 CDs, 5,000 and 5,000. 4 draws this morning. Dial *439#. It's a mega jackpot. And so don't select option 2 for TV3. Rather select option 8 for MG Mega Jackpot. That's how you win big on the show this morning. Dial *439#, then select option 8 for Mega Jackpot, and you can win up to 5,000 CDs on the show today. We've got 15,000 CDs to give away. All right. Now, Ramadan means together with loved ones. Ramadan means together at the altar. Ramadan means together in spirit, and Ramadan also means together with Lipton. This season, make every moment better with a warm cup of Lipton Yellow Label. Tea is brewed with love and served with a smile. So share more meals, check up on more loved ones, and spend more time in reflection and conversation. This Ramadan, do more with a cup of Lipton, because tea is for togetherness. All right, so we're going to go on a quick break now. When we come back, we have more for you on TV3 Newday.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson. Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Freddy Kalika, just call me cockroach now.
Again, we have to tell you that Big Issue is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast, and for this Eid holiday edition of Big Issue, we'll be discussing a number of items. Again, we have to tell you that we have casualty, goes with Shoko star 439#. You will know that Parliament on Thursday, March 19, 2026, approved the agreement paving the way for large-scale mining of lithium in the country, and we're told subsequently that this is going to lead to or has led to the offering of this concession to Barari DV, and it also means that they have this lease for the concession for 15 years. According to the justification, is supposed to position Ghana as a key lithium market, and we're hoping that we'll be able to improve on our revenues when it comes to that regard as well. And the benefits by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, as he enumerated, Emmanuel Amakofibua, had been to comprehensively also give a lot of development to the project areas, but also revenue for the country as well. But the concern that many have had, especially in civil society, is this the best deal we can get out of this? What are the implications in itself? And we all know that there's going to be a community fund set up, 1% of annual revenue directed to affected communities for infrastructure, schools, health, and then also local development. And the government is also retaining a free carried interest of some 12%, and also meaning that there's going to be state participation in the project. Already we know there are corporate taxes, royalties, by way of also revenues from levies, etc., to be derived from this. What, by implication, does it mean? And so we're here to do some discussion on the subject. We'll also take a critical look at many other related issues this morning. Key among them will be comprehensively the Ghana Union of Traders Association calling on the central bank to ensure reduction in lending rates. The real-time lending rate across banks in Ghana. We know that the Monetary Policy Committee pegged the rate at the base rate at 14%, and so they want it reflected not only in the real rate when you are borrowing, but more importantly, a reduction subsequently as well. All right, so I have to introduce our guest quickly. And so I have Dr. Tutu Boying, who is joining us. Good morning to you, Dr. Tutu Boying. How are you? Okay, I'm well. And lawyer Apia Dankwa, good morning. Good morning. TK Jimegam, Theophilus TK Jimegam, known as TK to many people, is a lawyer as well. Thank you for joining us. He's also a mining engineer, so helps put the matters into perspective. How are you?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm well.
My friend in a high place.
Propaganda. And so we'll be joined by lawyer Fifi Boafo, a former head of corporate affairs, Cocoa Board as well, also representing the MPP on the show this morning. He will be joining us in a bit. But basically, that's what it means. And so we'll begin the discussion and coming from where civil society is coming from, and then also the position espoused by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Is this a deal that meets all sides halfway?
Yeah, good morning to your viewers wherever they are, and good morning to my good people in Hohwe. Will you permit me a minute to deal with something? It's about the EMP, engineers and planners.
I see that they have some new...
Yes, they're injecting some new capital into the Damine mines, which they have taken over. It is important to put in place that it is good that we encourage local or indigenous mines or indigenous ownership of mining in Ghana. Currently, there are a couple of Ghanaian companies that can mine. We have the BCM, we have EINP, we have the Rockshore. And it is good to put in place that engineers and planners actually had applied to take over the Damine mine way back, I think about 2023. And the application was made way before NDC came into office. So it is not the situation that the presence of NDC, or for that matter, John Dramani Mahama, is the reason why engineers and planners got access to Damine mine. And what better way than to say that let us encourage each other, let's encourage an indigenous person. Look, Ibrahim Mahama has done a lot in terms of mining in Ghana. Prior to taking over the mines, they were contractors for Goldfields. They were doing the mining and the haulage. And when Goldfields indicated they were no more going to take over, to continue with the lease, they say, hey, come on, we have the capacity. Let us also enter into the market. And among the local mining companies we have, they have the best knowledge and best institutional memory about the area. So there's no point shouting over whether the mining lease was granted because of the administration of NDC. That aside, you see, our mining is regulated in Ghana by the Mining Act 706. And in section 48, 49, and 50, there are certain incidents we need to pay attention to, particularly section 49, which talks about development agreements. And with your permission, if I may read, they say the minister, on the advice of the commission, may enter into a development agreement under a mining lease with a person where the proposed investment by the person will exceed $500 million US. So let's understand that, granted that the new agreement or the expected revenue will be $500 million, simplicity, not more. 1% of that per annum will be $500,000. And that is going into the community for the community development. My prayer will be, how will it be used? It is not about the quantum of money, but how will it be used? Example, will it be used to, out of mischief, will it be used to build clinics or buy chichinga to it? Will it be used to develop the community properly? Do we have community development foundation? We have community development authority that will ensure that the money is used properly. Of course, we have the MIF, we have the Minerals Development Fund, etc., all operating. But to talk about $500,000 per annum for the community where the mine is located, I think that...
The Awoya community?
Yes, I think
$500,000. Do you think that's enough for a whole community?
No, I am saying minimum. If it is about 500 million and you are getting 1% of that, apart from that,
1%
there
is 5 million.
Very
1% of 500 million is 5 million.
It's not. It's 5 million.
Yeah, 5 million.
Then it's even better. Thanks for helping me. 5 million. So $5 million per annum. Secondly, down in the section we have recruitment and training of Ghanaians. So there's a local content, and most mining companies make it that all their recruitment within their catchment, 10% is reserved for the locals, and they call it local. You have to be you have to be a Ghanaian and a local in the area. So 10% of all employment, at least, will be reserved for the community. That is also something good that the community will take advantage of. Then they have to train some of them to, as it were, take over in managerial and senior level positions. That is also good. So it is not just about the 5 million that the community will get. There are other benefits. Going forward, there will be restaurants springing up. People will build and begin to lease or hire rooms. There will be schools. There will be other things that will spring up within the community. Unfortunately, history has shown us that a lot of the areas where we have mine, people are not able to take advantage of some of these things, but that is gradually changing. If you look at Newmont in Kenya, say, and the environment, yes. But for the beginning of Newmont, the initial inception where there were disturbances against Newmont staff, etc., where a lot of them moved to Sunyani. Currently, a lot of them are in Kenya, and that has led to Kenya having Kenya number 1, number 2, Lithium, all of them growing. So the 1% per se, it is not bad. We don't know what the expected revenue is, but if you peg it at just the 500 million, then 5 million per annum, I think it's good to go at the start.
But you know that in Parliament, the minority voted en bloc against this. They said the terms of the agreement were not favorable, especially particularly looking at our history. And Fifi Boafo, good morning, and thank you for joining us. He's a strong mining person. Not necessarily because he fully participates in the mine, but he grew up or comes from the mining area.
He went to school next door.
Next door.
Yeah.
in your own community.
Yeah, in my community.
Yeah. So at the, that will be UMass, right?
Yeah, UMass.
Okay. So at the end of the day.
But at the time it was
School of Mines. School of Mines.
School of Mines.
Yes, that's where I went to.
Yes. So at the end of the day, looking at history and hindsight, and what we can do by way of the terms, we know what the thresholds are, what are upper and lower limits are as enshrined, and what the norm has been. We need to get more favorable terms, is that not it? And that's what the minority has been arguing about, and that's why they voted en bloc against this lithium agreement in the first place.
I mean, the action of the minority was a hypocrisy. Honorable Jinapo, the former lands minister, he came back to say that the agreement is exactly what he brought the last time, except one or two tweaks. And the ranking member on the Lands and Mines Committee also supported it. If you watch the video carefully, when Honorable Akwenyo Markins was telling him to reject, but at the end of the day, he supported it. So it's a hypocrisy that was displayed. At the end of the day, who will be in government and would like to have the worst form of agreement for its people when you are looking into future that you want to be in government for a long time? That cannot be a good assertion of what the agreement talks about. So for me, what the minority said was just what they did was a hypocrisy. And we expect that days coming, they will see that their action was not actually good in the interest of the country. Now, they had members on the Lands and Natural Resources Subcommittee. What did they do? They should have raised all this, even though they will be in minority. But they didn't come, the final report didn't say they objected to ABC. No, they appear to have agreed to it, except the last day when the voting is to be done. And remember, the communities along that area were already agitating that this is taking so long and nothing is happening. So let's move on with the agreement. So for me, I think that the action by the minority, to a large extent, was hypocritical.
This one straight to you, Fifi Boafo. You take a look at it and the concern that had been raised. Indeed, before we began the year, towards the latter part of around October, November, this had been a concern on the part of the minority in itself. Of course, the community said that we've had an entity, they've mobilized the site, and then there's a stalemate, etc. Do you think we could have gotten a better deal out of this? Is that the position that the minority still holds?
Oh, yes, I strongly believe so. And let me indicate that we are here because the NDC decided to delay the process. Honorable Jinapo he referred to has started the process in 2024. And of course, they couldn't go through the process. So what happened from 2024 is the majority and government now realizing that there's an agency or there's the need for it such that they have to fast track the process and get it out of the way. To the extent that the minority was even raising concerns about value for money analysis that ought to be done before we proceed. This time around, they are in a rush. They do not have time. So all this while, from 2025 January to date, what have they been doing? Couldn't they have done that? Or they are now realizing the cost the community has paid is the fact that November, as you referred to, people who were on site, because of the fact that there was a delay, about 100 people have lost their jobs already. So is the majority and government, the NDC, now realizing that there's an agency for which reason they have to fast track it? I think that this sweetheart deal that the government has pushed through is one that is not in the interest of the country. I think the minority from the onset have indicated strongly that they are not opposed to the lithium deal. This process started in 2012 and 2018. That was actually when they started exploration and everything. So the majority then, who are now minority, they've participated and ensured that indeed we've gone through the process of making sure that Ghana benefits from this process. Unfortunately, where we find ourselves now is one, I don't think it is in the interest of the community and in the interest of Ghana. Over the years, there have been concerns and complaints about what we benefit as a country from our mining resources. And this generational asset, how the government has treated it, I believe that it is not in our interest. You remember under the MPP, the agreement was for us to have 10% royalties. The question is, how did we now get it revised downwards? If it's not broken, why fix it?
No. Let's be honest.
Yes. If it is not broken, why fix it? If what the MPP had prepared, what the MPP has submitted to Parliament, you believe it was a good deal, why now bring it down? He was making reference to the 1% interest which the community will benefit. I strongly think that is not sufficient. Like you indicated, I come from a mining community. He talked about the fact that, well, because the mining in the community, businesses will come up and other things. But what he does not make mention of is the fact that cost of living in the community will go up.
Will spiral.
How will the other people who will not directly benefit from the mining activity, how will they survive? They will compete with the people who find jobs in the mining community. He talked about the fact that 10% of the people who will be employed will come from the community. How many more people in the community would also have to compete with the people who are going to benefit from the mining activity?
And these are your experiences having lived in Takwa.
Yes.
And still having friends there, right?
Oh, I still live in Takwa. I only come to Accra. I only come to Accra to do Pakpakpa and go back. That is the truth. Because the people in these mining companies have some good disposable income. They will have to compete. The Awoya community, for example, these are largely farmers. The farmers will have to now compete with the people who find job in the mining company. Cost of living.
In terms of, sorry to interrupt you, in terms
of the rent you made mention of.
Yeah.
They will have to find the same houses in the community.
You said they live already in the community.
Yes, but the fact that they live already in the community, I will have to pay my rent after 2 years. I have to pay my rent after a year. I have to pay my rent after 6 months. They are competing.
These are the consequences of.
Yes.
It's like having discovered oil and all of a sudden land in Takra, they
became expensive.
Yeah.
And that is a fact. When you compare artisans, for example, in Takwa, artisans will charge you more in Takwa than they will charge you sometimes even in Accra. Just because of the mining company. And they will tell you, because they will go to the same market, they will go to the same restaurant with the miners. The people of Awoya, the 5 million that he talked about, would they be able to take care of them? And one thing I have also observed, as someone who lives in the mining community, is the fact that most of the people who get employed in these mining companies, weekends, when they are not going to work, you see them travel out of the community. When they travel out of the community, the money they have made in the community, they do not even spend it in the community, but they take it out and go and spend it, invest it somewhere else. Rather, the people who live in the community, what would you leave them when the mine is no more?
Okay, but the reverse or the inverse is also that throughout the period when they stay out of the sparse moments when they have to perhaps leave the mining community either for recreational purposes or for investment purposes, they tend to create a lot of currency or capital circulation within the value chain. That's the truth, right?
Well, but it is limited. So a typical miner, they go to work early morning and they come back very late.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
the mines have three shifts.
Oh, Chief, so, you know what? I know you understand. Yes, a typical miner, even when they are not on the shift,
on site,
they come back tired. They leave home by 5 a.m. They are gone. They come back 7 p.m. tired, and they come and they sleep. So typical miners don't have a life. Their life is committed to the work. It is only when they are on vacation leave That is when they take their vacation. And their vacation, they do not take the vacation in the mining community. So their investment, its effects in the community is very limited. So I believe that and the fact that it is also an extractive industry, when the lithium, when the gold, when the manganese is taken away, you cannot replace it because it is gone and it's gone forever. What then happens to that community? Before the mining company will come in, the people have their lifestyle, there are things they are used to, they are very comfortable with those things. The moment you have the mines coming in, their lifestyle will change. They get exposed to other things, and that is where they have to compete with people with disposable income. They do not have the same thing. Unfortunately, most mining communities, what they have suffered is less development compared to even sometimes where you do not have these mining activities taking place. I'm not saying that the fact that the mining activity is taking place in a community, all the revenues must go into that particular community to develop the community. Of course, we are a country, but there must be a special attention to that community. I'll give you one instance. You know the big push agenda the government is undertaking. In Western region where you have a lot of these mining companies, and this, not a single stand-alone project is in the Western region. Not one. Not a single stand-alone project is in the Western region.
Well, if you say single standalone.
Okay, so I know, for example, the Cape Coast Takoradi Road was captured as part of the big push. But apart from that, within the region, not one project under the big push is in the Western region.
There's none that's been continued under the big push.
No, the big push is just a new project which the government has introduced.
Some are continued.
No, not a single one. So the question you ask yourself is, with all these activities going on, what do the people get in return? And that is the reason why people of Awoya, Mankesim, and the nearby communities will be asking themselves, are we also going to suffer the fate of Boase, Takwa, Bebieni, Bogoso, Pristia, and Co. have suffered? Are they also going to suffer the same fate? The 1%, I believe it is not enough. And the fact that the NDC decided to reduce the benefit we were supposed to realize from this lithium deal, you ask yourself, really, in whose interest were they working for? Is it the Ghanaian? Is it the locals? Or something which we do not know? We believe that it is good for us to, yes, mine the lithium. It's important. But we must not mine to the detriment of the country and the community we operate in. I believe that that is not the right thing to do, and the government could have done way better than they've done.
So that's a concern of the minority in there. And then particularly you look at the December 2024 deal, and you look at 13%, 19%, the carried on interest as well. And then subsequently the concerns are being raised. How do we perhaps have a discussion broadly to say that we've been undertaking mining in a certain environment and being negotiated under certain terms? We've even been able to tweak that into our laws, make provisions as well. And so on one hand, we are operating within a certain regime, whilst we have a new paradigm shift being what the advocacy is, and so it's being argued out. To be able to be in a position where we say that we should have our interests first, whilst we know that we're not putting anything in the mine, really.
So let me wish...
Because it's capital intensive, isn't it?
So let me wish our lovely viewers a good morning. Back at the Sanla. I can see you are in the Sanla mood. I love your...
Yes.
Which my learned friend here, good morning. My learned friend here, good morning. My professor, good morning. You see, when it comes to the argument that, or a decision whether or not the decisions being made are made in the interest of Ghana, my personal view is that that's the only choice really. As in, when you consider Article 257 of our Constitution, that creates a trust in our president, in terms of all minerals in its natural state, then when you understand that one of the fundamental obligations on a trustee is the fiduciary obligation, which essentially demands that when the trustee is taking a decision concerning the trust property, then the first question that ought to be asked is, this decision I'm making, is it in the best interest of my people? And to make an argument that is premised on whether or not the decision being taken is in the best interest of Ghana is just asking the bare minimum as per our constitution.
What question should we be asking?
I say the question is simple. Is this decision I'm taking, is it in the best interest of the people of Ghana? And that's the obligation that is created by Article 257 of the 1992 Constitution. Indeed, Ghana is blessed. We are so blessed that this is a country that was formerly called the Gold Coast. We are blessed that for a very long time we had land that is able to support the production of cocoa. We are blessed that this is a land that has diamond, has manganese, has bauxite. And yet the irony is that in spite of all these blessings that nature itself has bestowed upon our beautiful country, we are wallowing in abject poverty. And we are wallowing in abject poverty essentially because of the structure that we have woefully failed to change. That structure being the Gagisbergen structure, where we only mine, we extract, and we do not add value. And I feel that to solve this problem, then we need to divorce ourselves of partisan considerations. Because immediately we start seeing this issue as an MPP versus NDC or whichever party's issue, then the real question or the real issue
gets evaded.
Yeah. Because, and I'm saying this because, fortunately, we must find this discussion in proper context. And the proper context being that prior to 2024, the MPP tabled before the people of Ghana how they were going to handle this lithium question. My personal view is what they tabled is not too different from what the NDC is tabling. And I think, to be fair, the first question that ought to be asked then is, if what the NDC is tabling now, then why did they oppose that deal in the first place? You get a picture. Then the reverse is that, then why is the NPP also then opposing this current deal? So then what's the question? As in, what fools how they handle or see these issues? Personally, I was thinking that the issue that ought to be discussed is an attempt at changing fundamentally the structure of how this lithium deal was going to be undertaken. Because I recall that during the MPP time, they told us that beyond the fiscal side of the structure, there was also a proposal that would represent a significant paradigm shift in how we deal with our mineral exploitation. And that is in a clause in the agreement that says that value had to be added.
That was a key conversation.
In fact, in my view, that's the most important conversation, because that represents a radical paradigm shift in the structure that has been placed in our country in how we utilize our natural resources. So for me, I think that we ought to elevate the discussion beyond I'm giving 13%, we are giving whatever percentage, the royalty is 10%, and we are doing a sliding, you understand? Because, you see, I don't want to be tempted to go into a tirade of they are not committed. I think that we ought to elevate this discussion to how are we going to enforce the clauses in the agreement that mandates that we add value.
Yeah.
Because really that's the most important thing.
A friend of mine lives in Qatar, Frank Teddy Donko. Good morning to you. The wife is called Ifia Sapon. Ifia, good morning to you. They're watching us currently. And he's making a comparison that if you compare the Gulf states. So at the beginning when Saudi Arabia saw that they couldn't do without the West, they formed Aramco subsequently. We, of course, had JVs, etc., with the Western oil companies, particularly Texaco and the rest. They're from the US. But subsequently, they saw the need to be able to do it themselves. Okay. Is there a possibility, just like Frank Teddy Donko is saying, that we could one day be bold and say that we want a local mining company, whether they are going to form some JVs with any other, to go into the pits there, do the mining, and add value.
No, really, that should be the target. So you see, when you read Aristotle's book on politics, his views on politics, he says that politics is a matter of science that uses all the other science to create virtuous men. Now, I've argued before that when you expand the meaning of what a virtuous man includes wealthy men, that we ought to do a politics that will create wealthy men who are capable of exploiting mineral resources. Yes. Because you see, how long are we going to destroy ourselves to the extent that we always have to look outside for capital to invest in our mineral resources? Because really, for me, like I'm saying, we've come to or we ought to be at a level where we ought to elevate how we do politics here. So if my brother Fifi is a wealthy man, shouldn't matter to me whether he's in my party or not. Because in Kumasi, there was something we all used to say that we feel pete area onama ebika.
We feel pete.
Yeah. Every onama you understand? Yeah. But we've created a politics that destroys instead of building. Yes, and instead of seeing ourselves primarily as Ghanaians, we see ourselves in the lenses of MPP, NDC. And we are pursuing this agenda of destroying ourselves to the extent that we don't have the capital here that would aid us to invest in these natural resources. Because I'm saying that once again, for me, the biggest discussion here ought to be value addition. That ought to be the biggest, what's called, a discussion. Okay. But then, because of how we do our politics, because the focus of our politics is just in competing with ourselves, without realizing that we are Ghanaians, and where whoever is pursuing an agenda that is towards building a national agenda, then it shouldn't really matter the party the person is from. Because if the deal before 2024 had value addition, had royalty, which was more than 5%, you understand? Then why did we demonize it and oppose it? And if that's the case, and something similar is being tabled, then why is it being demonized by the minority now? Is it the case that for both parties, the reason why they see politics is just a competition? Listen, for me, there are key issues in the deal. One has to do with value addition. The question what to access, how enforceable is that clause? Two, there are issues that has to do with a protection of the environment. Because that's the cost we pay.
Very significant.
You understand? How strong is those clauses there? And what is our commitment in enforcing those clauses? The 1%, what's it called? First of all, let's ask ourselves, is it enough? If it's enough, then what strategies are we putting in place to ensure that those monies are applied to the purpose for which they are being set up? Because our generation has a burden. We've done mining in a certain way which has not benefited us. For me, I think this lithium deal and what lithium represents the future or even the present. Lithium is a resource that can be used in how energy is being utilized now. Where do Ghana see ourselves in that chain? Are we going to see ourselves at the bottom where we just extract and export, or do we see ourselves as partaking in the upper echelons of that supply chain? And you understand? And that's why I feel that we ought to discuss critically the value addition clauses in this agreement and ensure that they are not just mere words, but they are words that will be enforced to the benefit of all Ghanaians.
Okay.
So, that's
the lawyer. Oh, sorry, Dr. Tutubuain.
Yes, sir.
How do we make sure everybody benefits? All sides are happy. Because clearly, we have this out of the way now.
Yeah. So, Papa Ro, let me say good morning and happy Eid to our panelists and also to our Muslim brothers and sisters who are listening to us. Let me take this opportunity to also say good morning to Mr. Robert Mensah. I met this man in Kumasi over the weekend. No, not the goalkeeper.
Another good.
In fact, I have 2 friends who are Robert Mensahs.
Okay.
I think 3, even 3. Yeah.
I think there was one at SEPS. He used to be with the PR department. You know him.
Robert Mensah, yes.
So
I was thinking the goalkeeper.
Famous name all the time.
Robert Mensah of Methodist University, special greetings to you. And Mr. Robert Mensah that I met over the weekend in Kumasi. Good morning to you. And he's an ardent listener and viewer of TV3 programs. Boss, thank you for your advice over the weekend. And my greetings also goes to my Uniba constituency, UW constituency. Papa Ro, is it this issue about lithium? And I think that it's an advantage that we can take, to support the kind of, exports that we are having in this country. Obviously, it has come to add up, to our exports, revenue, and also to be able to boost local economy, especially the people of Infantiman and Oya. And I think that we need to make good use of it. But the key question is what we have discussed, and basically centered around, the government share of investments, which is about 12%, and again the royalties, which initially was 10%, but probably the current deal is talking about 12% again. Yes. Yeah, and then I think that there has been an increase. Yeah. There has been an increase rather. Yes.
Interest. Yes. But the royalties is 5.
No. I think that it ranges between 5 to 12.
Yes.
All right. Depending on
The question
on the
is
sliding
why
scale.
do you put us
exactly
at 5?
Yeah.
Yes, because you could have at least gotten 10. So if you give room, no problem. Yes, if you give room, then there's a likelihood. Over the years, the complaint is that we have lost out in our mining agreements. So if we've been able to establish something that is in our interest, then it is 10. The moment you decide that you rather as a country will take the risk, because by saying that it will fluctuate between 7 and 5, it means that we are going to share the risk. At the time we are not part of management, at the time even the board representation, we do not have a vote. Why do we now put ourselves in such a situation where there's a likelihood that we will lose out? Instead of going with the existing structure that was there, we have decided to rather make ourselves vulnerable. And I think that's the concern that the minority is raising. Please go ahead.
So I think that that point is well made. But I think that what I have here talks about the 12% royalty rate.
Yeah.
All right.
Myself too.
And
I don't have the 5.
Which the reading, but I think that there was an allowance, I think previously, where they were saying that the lithium prices on the world market had fallen. All right. And so they were going for 5%.
Yeah, so the counter argument was that at the time that the agreement was put together when the MPP was in power, the prices on the world market were at a certain...
Yeah, but I think that now it is equally increasing. Yeah, and that is where the concern is. All right. So I think that is also the reason why they have put in the sliding scale system. Okay, where when it is going up, you tend to be earning more, and when it is coming down, you tend to be earning less. All right, but for me, my concern, Papa Ro, has to do with, how the people of Ewoya, Fantiman, Sopon are going to benefit. one of the key things that I keep thinking about has to do with sustainability of mining, within our part of the world. Obviously, when you read the documents, it is telling you that lithium, the deposit has a very short lifespan, right? And what it means is that probably we may not be able to travel beyond 20 years. Now, when it gets to that point, and we are not able to manage the revenues that are coming in very well, we don't invest it very well, obviously it will be a problem for the people of Ewoya. I think that the example from the Arab world, which Papa Ro, you were reading to us, is something that we need to take a critical look of. Now, the 1%, right, which is going to amount to around $6 million, dollars over that period of 12 years. All right. For me, I wouldn't say it is adequate enough, for that fund that has been created to be able to engage or to bring development, into the area. And so, for me, I will support the argument that feels that that 1% should move up to 3 or even 5%. Right? And for me, yes. For me, I think that if that is done, what it means is that the 6 million, can double or even triple. All right. And when we check places like Takwa, where you come from, I think we did a survey there, myself and one PhD student, when he was doing his PhD thesis. And it was interesting that when we talked to the people, I think we sampled about 10 mining communities in Ghana. And it was interesting the way people, the indigenous, were complaining about the fact that they are actually not benefiting, from the proceeds, of the mines. All right. And that is a worry. Obviously, when you check the occupational, opportunities in Fantimana and Ewoya, about 70% farming. All right. What does it mean? It means that if this resource, the 1% coming, is not used judiciously to create jobs, to train individuals, to give people some level of capital into their pockets, and to a large extent, if we cannot even use that percentage, the community fund, to generate certain jobs, creating factories in there, which probably would take care of that value chain, the mining value chain in Ewoya. If you are not careful, by the time that the resource is depleted, people would curse their stars, and they probably may wish that mining never came to their area. All right. Economists will tell you about the Dutch diseases. And these are some of the things that, we need to start thinking about, how to avoid some of these things. Obviously, the people who own lands already are complaining, all right, that once their livelihood had been taken, the appropriate compensation should have come so that at least they will know where to probably invest their monies. But that is beyond the issue. I feel that definitely those compensations will be paid. But the key thing is that if you have your money as a compensation and you don't know where to invest it, obviously it becomes a problem. This issue about local content, probably we need to again discuss it very well. All right. Because you see, lawyer was talking about local. Lawyer, am I right?
Yes, local.
The local.
Yeah.
Now, the local means that you are going to recruit people within the Ewoya enclave. Now the question is that, do we have people who are well trained in mining? Okay, so that if we are talking about skilled labor and it's 10% for the indigens of Mfantsiman, the point is, do we have that 10% coming from, that community, or even 5% coming from that community? If that is not gotten, then it means that they are going to bring people from other parts of the country. Again, if they can't get, then they are bringing people from other parts of the world. And when that happens, what does it mean? It means that Ghana is still losing, and we have the resources, but other people from other parts of the world will be benefiting. This brings to mind the need to channel this 1%, or as I was proposing again and supporting other people, the 3%, into an educational scholarship that will train people within that community within the first 5 years, the first 6 years, so that they can take up responsible positions within the mining. That will be very, very important for them, all right? And that will ensure sustainability. I am also of the opinion that moving forward, again, investing, in the people, for them to also acquire some special training in there. When you go to Takrady, these oil rigs, all right, I hear that one of the jobs that actually pay has to do with welding.
All over the world.
Yes.
Yes. In the oil industry.
Exactly.
All over the world.
Exactly.
Welding pays.
Yes. And this is a skill that doesn't take, certificates, right? You have to be trained, develop your skill for you to be able to deliver. Now the point is that if you come to Ewoya, what kind of skill would the people need for them to be able to work in the mine? All right. Are we ready to train these people for them to acquire that skills so that they become beneficial, not only for their families, but again for the mine? All right. And so I feel that a lot of discussions need to go into these things, so that it wouldn't sound as if that the skill that we even need, we don't have it. All right. And that the people are just resigned to their farming activities. And that because you're a farmer, just keep to your farming activities. But even then, if you want the people to equally, go into farming and make sure that there is no food shortage, the local inflation doesn't shoot up, living standard doesn't go up, and so agriculture is important. How are we going to use this community fund, to invest in agriculture in such a way that food will be in abundance and people will actually not suffer? So these are questions that I think that we all should be discussed.
Well, the reason why I was laughing was because, we have structured model agreements by which we go about this. And when you speak to those who tend to do the intermediation for the companies, and those who also ultimately lead them here, they make key agreements. And they make sound judgments and then arguments. They pump their money in here, and it's capital intensive, an industry. How will you be able to recover? You understand? So at the end of the day, that's what. But just quickly spend 2 minutes on this. But it looks like we all agree the terms previously and this are not too different.
No.
But perhaps we could have gotten something better. Is that it? Or this is the best
Let me quickly address one or two things. Like the local, Doc. For example, Newmont, they have apprenticeship program. where they train the locals to some of these skills that could be harvested quickly, welding, driving, etc. So that could be part of the agreement here. We don't know the details, but the development agreement might include some of these things. Number two, there's value addition we have all been talking about, that we should add value addition. Then there's also the part that in order to protect our roads, etc., the company is supposed to bring feasibility studies to explore the barge and jetty system along the coast of Salt Pond. Then I just want to talk about one or two things that my brother Fifi said. I mean, you see, your lamentations don't appear to be yesterday's issue or today's issue. They have been there all over. We are making progress. Albeit whether slow or fast, we are making progress.
You see, snail pace.
No, you also mentioned that the big push, there is no mention of Western Region Road. Are you aware of the Lagos-Abidjan corridor?
Yeah.
Okay. The Lagos-Abidjan corridor is one that is cutting through Western Region hugely. So I'll share
but
documents.
He mentioned that.
No, he didn't.
He said apart from that.
No, he didn't mention the Lagos. Yes.
Takoradi Cape Coast Road.
It's not the Lagos-Abidjan corridor. It's a different one that is coming on. Yes, the Lagos-Abidjan corridor.
It forms part of that corridor. It's the same corridor.
No, it is not.
The Lagos-Abidjan corridor, the one that will come from Aflao.
It will come to Aflao.
Okay.
It's going to Akanu.
Yes.
Yes, so it's not coming from Aflao.
Yes.
No, I'll share details with you. I am on that committee.
I am here to see that one.
Yes. So
and is it part of the because
that is one reason why
actually published the roads that will be taken care of by the big push. And I took time.
I am telling you, I didn't mention big push.
So this corridor is an ECOWAS approved.
Approved one. And exactly.
So,
ECOWAS approved one.
Because we have that one, we don't deserve to be part of the big push.
Oh. No, I didn't. To quote the words of Mahmoud Bamia, that would be WAP.
Not to hold
logic.
brief for
No.
Fifi.
Yes.
Fifi is
really? WAP logic?
Yes, that's what he said. That would be WAP logic.
Yeah,
yes.
but Fifi is talking about beyond the main corridors. You know, we have other big push projects that are linking.
Government is committed. The president says funds are ready.
And cities in the various regions to
and
access
that one.
Okay, let me say, when you were talking, I've been asked by my brother here to be quiet. So I try to be quiet. Look, for some reason, let me understand what you meant by lithium has a short lifespan.
No, he means the deposits there.
The deposits.
Yeah.
The quantity that has been the time period for mining. Okay. Then also the idea that mining alone will raise the local inflation. You see, mining alone cannot translate into the development of an area. It is good. Way before I went to Takwa, I was told that if you're able to live in Takwa, you can live in anywhere in the world. And indeed, those days that maybe Kenke is, I don't know how much Kenke costs here now, it's a bit high in Takwa. So if the mining personnel gets more money, those who sell also sell higher. It's sort of...
So that's why I was talking about the fact that even if it is about agriculture, right?
Yeah. I will address that. I'm addressing what Fifi said. Even if it's about agriculture, you see some of these mining companies, because they have the responsibility to do reclamation, they train some of those in farming into their environmental and reclamation programs. Let us be looking at what we can get out of this agreement and out of this project that is coming to bear. Now, finally, you ask whether we can have, or somebody asked whether we can have local mining companies. We used to have state gold mining companies.
We're not talking about state company.
No.
But now we have engineers and planners.
Yes, you said whether the country can go for it.
Yeah, if we can do.
Yes, but those ones. So now it is one of the reasons why my preamble that engineers and planners should be applauded. We should encourage things like that so that we also have the local companies. Indeed, if you go and see the background of Rockshore, how much was pumped into by the previous administration for Rockshore to get where they are today, it's laudable that we encourage local mining companies to take up some of these things. In the end, the money stays
like engineers and planners.
Like engineers and planners, yes, that I agree totally. So for me, the persons in Dubai, we'll get there. Yes.
All right, Fifi, just 2 minutes on this, then we can go to Guta before we wrap up.
Thank you. It's refreshing to note that today, as Ghanaians, we must encourage local companies to do well, no matter who it is or where the person comes from or the person's relationship.
Fifi, what are you insinuating?
Oh, I'm saying it's refreshing. Is it not refreshing that today, if my brother Roland is doing business in Ghana, all of us as Ghanaians, we must encourage him, we must support him, we must give him his flowers because yes, he's a Ghanaian, he's doing well. Well, yesterday, some Ghanaians did not deserve to get opportunities to work. Some Ghanaians, it was a crime that because of their relationship, if they get opportunities to work in the country, which they are citizens. It was a crime. But today, thank God, all of us are coming to the realization that no matter who you are, no matter your relationship, no matter your affiliation, you deserve to get the opportunity to work in Ghana and then improve yourself and improve everyone around you. Yes, your family members. You remember someone saying in this country that, well, someone would not steal your money. He would rather let his relations make the money and take care of that person. Thankfully, today, we've all come to the realization that that was not the way to go. But the way to go is to give Ghanaians the opportunity to work and improve themselves and improve the society. Thanks be to God. Maybe this is what reset has done to some people that, well, when we're not at the stage of reset, some people did not deserve to get the right to work.
For example, Exxon Cubic. Exxon Cubic didn't deserve because Exxon Cubic wasn't Ghanaian. You remember Exxon Cubic?
But you see, this very lithium deal we are talking about, in 2002...
You have 2 minutes on this.
Thank you. In 2002, President... because he was actually heckling me.
That one was a preface.
Yeah, sure. The president actually instructed the minister responsible for lands and natural resources to ensure that we have a green mineral policy. And the green mineral policy was to, one, make sure that we do value addition, and two, also local participation. One thing I have observed is that, when we talk about local participation, we talk about the fact that let's employ people from the local community. I think we should even go beyond that. The reason why I say we should go beyond that is the fact that in a local community where you have this extractive mining activity taking place, most of the contracts that are awarded, the big contracts, you have the contractors who are not locals. Yeah. So when they make the money is shipped away. The fact that we talk local, can we also make provision such that when we are also awarding contracts within the mining industry, we'll pay special attention or special consideration to the locals who live in the community and have the capacity. I think that when we talk about capacity, it must not be limited to the fact that, well, we are looking at a contractor within the local community who will be able to discharge or undertake this activity. The company must be deliberate in supporting them to build capacity. So, for example, if you are opening it up to a national competitive bidding, in the local community, if the challenge is that the company has problem with raising finance, when you agree that this is a local company and we want to specially help them, you can give them an offer letter which they can take it to the bank and raise revenue in order to be able to undertake that activity. I believe that when locals are built, that is how we can sustain the community beyond the lifespan of the mine. But if we give all the big contracts and say that, of course, few young people within the community have been employed and that should suffice, I believe that it will not. Because just like Doc was making reference to, when the life of the mine is over, what happens to that community? The people who, because of the mining activity, have been able to build houses, have air conditions in those houses, living, buying, using certain cars, how would they finance their lifestyle? But if we are able to give special attention to even local businesses or business people within the locality. That will make sure that the money they raise, they invest it in the local economy, and then there will be life in that local economy beyond the life of the mine. But back to this very agreement. Council.
Your 2 minutes is up.
Oh, now is your time. Oh, Charlie Roland, I thought I was your friend. What government ought to have done was to ensure that they do not water down the benefits we were to receive as a country. Because when they complained, the least you expected was that after you have complained, just like Council was making reference to, when you come in, okay, well, the MPP said we're to ensure that there is a local content value addition. How do we ensure that we add value? How do we ensure that the local content the MPP has put in there, we are able to realize the full benefit of it? You don't do any of these things, but rather the royalties is what you bring down. This is not right.
All right. And you comment on Guta as well. They say they want the rate at which they borrow or the banks lend to them to reflect what the policy rate is. So,
yeah, I think it's
the base rate.
Yeah, I think it's a core. Well, I think everything that ought to be said has been said. There's no point going back to the lithium deal. Just hope that governments will stay committed to its mandate and ensure that the decisions that will inure to the best interest of all of us are done. Now to the Guta issue, I think essentially what Guta is calling for is a reduction in the cost of doing their business. And it shouldn't just be a call by Guta, but it's a call by all of us that government should create an economic ecosystem where the cost of doing business is low. So far, so good, as relatively, as in if you make a comparative analysis, the facts are telling us that strides are being made. Then those strides ought to reflect in how the banks do their business, because I think the monetary rate right now is about 14.something%. Treasury bill rate is about 3. That's phenomenal. You understand? And as in
phenomenal to government.
No. It's Fifi. You'd agree that one of the critical impacts of this is that right now banks will not be looking at placing their monies at the treasury bills.
Yes, at the disposal of people
because there are two issues here. Where you have the treasury bills up, banks conveniently, because of the risk profile in this country, people, banks conveniently just place their money there.
It's a lazy way of investing. I think the issue of Guta is that at the time where you have interest.
You have your
question. Because for me, I see two issues. The first issue is that, you see, where you have the treasury bills up, then you have an issue where there won't even be monies available to the private sector. As things stands now, because of the rate of the treasury bills, funds are available. The next question then is, at what cost? You understand? Because the funds can be available, but at what cost? And that's what I'm saying. Guta is right to make that call. To make a call that says that it's not enough just having the monetary rate at 14%, but it ought to reflect in how banks rate. Now, when you read GTP, I don't know how to say the GTP, the UP's GTP, I think the economic cluster, where we make a big case for government deliberately building its SMEs. And then one of the core players or core objects that we call on government to do is the government should use its monetary rate to create what we call a government loan guarantee scheme. Yeah, and this is not something that is new. It's done by a lot of people. Because you see, you want to deliberately build your SMEs, and one of the core ways of doing that is to make available capital to them. But you see, capital represents the air that businesses breathe. And so beyond you reduce your monetary rate to 14, because the fact of the matter is that the banks, can Bank of Ghana force the banks to reduce their rate?
No.
They can't do that.
They cannot, except in communist states.
Yes.
They can use moral suasion.
Yes, but as in, you can't force them, force them.
No.
But, you see, what the Bank of Ghana can do is to work with the finance minister and do what we call the government loan guarantee scheme, where you create a guarantee for the banks such that small and medium scale enterprises can have access to concessionary loans from these banks because of the guarantees that you have placed, put in place to ease the cost of doing business. You understand? Now, fortunately, we have the 24-hour authority now. If you don't laugh, I don't know if you laugh.
You rather caused me to laugh at this time. No. I was just excited.
No. You want to be excited. You want to be excited, and you see, we must. I'm not saying criticize. I'm saying critique. We must critique the law and ensure that what the law says or the obligations the law creates on the authority happens. Because one of the core mandates of the authority is to promote SME development. Now, how are they going to do that? Now, you promote SME development, one, by creating institutions that will give institutional support to the SMEs by way of advice on corporate governance. But you can also do this by creating systems that will make available to the SMEs the capital they need to survive. I think all these things are in the 24-hour economy authority, as in the law, the obligations. And it's on this basis why I'm asking that one of the easiest way they can do this is by Bank of Ghana itself. Bank of Ghana creating a loan guarantee scheme. Because see, the SME is so critical beyond the fact that they are one of the critical institutions that can solve the problem of job creation.
Banks.
No. I said the SMEs. SMEs are one of the critical institutions
that is true,
that can solve the issue of job creation. But beyond they solve the issue of job creation, they can also solve the problem of government's inability to receive or to harness or to get revenue. Because it's one of the fundamental issues that our economy is bedeviled with. We have an economy that is unable to create jobs. We also have an economy where government is unable to generate revenues. And we're unable to generate revenue because of the weakness in our SME space, in our informal space. Indeed, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in his speech, as in when he was his first speech as the NPP flag bearer.
Which one, this year?
No, in 2023, I think. 2024, I think. Said that one of the fundamental tasks Nanado asked him to do was to deal with the issues that made it difficult for our economy to be transformed. And for His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, he recognized that one of the key issues was the extent of the informal nature of our economy. Now, one of the ways you tackle this informal thing is, like I'm saying, is by dealing with government giving real support to SMEs. Because then you can use that as a bait. Because when you say an economy is informal, it simply is there are businesses that the government really do not know. So you create this support system that, listen, I'm going to give you institutional support in terms of corporate governance. I'm going to give you support by way of making accessible to you real capital. But the requirement is that it must be registered. You understand? So beyond Guta just calling government to make real just 14%, I feel that government must take that real step by using its power of monetary policy to create a loan guarantee scheme that will cause the banks to give real concessionary loans to our SMEs.
2 minutes for you.
Yeah, so...
Guta.
Yes, so I think that Guta score is good. Obviously, when you check the indicators for, certain lending, rates, the monetary policy rate is 1. We talk about the Ghana reference rate. We talk about inflation and other operational, costs. All right. Another one has to do with the threat of non-performing loans. And so when we put all these things together, you get to understand why
the banks,
probably are reluctant, and probably Bank of Ghana is also being cautious of forcing the banks to, set a realistic, lending rate, which will, can be linked to the 14% monetary policy rate. But even if you check the Ghana reference rate, it is around 11.9% or something. And that also obviously tells you that if Guta talks about the fact that lending rates should be a single digit, obviously they are making the right call. All right. But the state with which we find ourselves as a country now, the macro, economic indicators showing positive signs actually doesn't really add up to the fact that we should, as it is, force banks to do things that they cannot do. Obviously, when you check the default and then non-performing loans, close to 20%, which is very high. Okay, so for every 100 people, 20 people are likely to default or run away with your money. All right, so it's a threat to them. And obviously, Ghana as economy that depends on foreign, economies and all that. I think that the Bank of Ghana can still find a way of dealing with some of these things so that at least SMEs, I mean, obviously, lawyer said that the single area where we can actually solve this problem of unemployment has to do with SMEs and then entrepreneurs. Okay. All right. If you go to Western countries, these are areas, SMEs are the key drivers of the economy. So why can't we probably see a situation where SMEs would have this kind of freedom, where they can have a lot of financial resources to grow and expand and also create more jobs, for the teeming unemployed youth in this country.
Okay.
Yeah,
3 minutes.
Yes, just to add to what Doc has said, there is one bit that perhaps he has omitted out of not deliberate, is the regulation bit. Yeah. That the Bank of Ghana requires the banks to keep a certain amount of money as part of the regulation for the reserves, liquidity, capital liquidity, etc. And you know that they have two sources of money: the equity, the shareholders, and our deposits, and the monies they borrow to us. And they cannot borrow their capital throughout. My bit, they cannot lend their capital throughout to all of us. The bit that worries me is why Guta cannot engage government directly or cannot engage Bank of Ghana directly. I feel that now maybe they've done, I'm not aware. But looking at the politics we play, the moment you take certain steps, you are already trying to create a barrier within the discussion. So
really? Guta has always been one of the main advocacy and pressure groups in Ghana. And once they talk, the government will have
that is why I'm encouraging them to engage.
Be less sensitive.
Yes.
You're being too sensitive because.
Okay. Yes. No. I said I put a caveat that I don't know whether they engage.
Maybe you are reading too much into.
Oh, maybe the two of you are reading too much into. But mine is on the surface. But the thing is that our economy is just coming out of the woods. So I think that I will yield to what doctor and lawyer have said, that we need to create an enabling environment for SMEs. That is where I am saying that, again, if the 24-hour economy comes on stream properly, so-called, then some of these pressures will be taken off. Allow Fifi to fill the day. But when all that begins to yield fruits, then the concerns of Guta will be totally addressed. So for me, again, there is nowhere, maybe in the communist countries, where the central banks can force the banks to set a lending rate. No, they can only set their own trading rate, the one they trade with the other banks. But the coming days, to me, look very good, and Guta should expect that some of these things will come to fruition and the policy rates will come down.
All right, Fifi, on this, Guta.
Yes, thank you.
But there's a reason why the banks also don't take the risk, right?
Of course, and it is based on data. The banks are not philanthropic organizations.
Yes.
They are there to do business. And if they are there to do business, before they will advance a facility, they must insulate themselves from possible losses. And that is the reason why the banks are acting the way they are. But the things we talked, when Council started, he was talking about the fact that, well, the policy rate has been reviewed if you look at money available to the banks to lend. But you still have a challenge with the interest that is being placed. Where we are now as a country is like going to the hospital, and you know very well that you have a terrible stomach upset. And you go to the hospital and you tell the doctor, Doc, I can't sleep, I have a terrible stomach upset. He said, oh, really? So which part of your body? And then he will go through all the processes, undertake all the tests, and says, no, I don't find anything wrong with you. But you know very well that you are suffering.
Yeah. You are sick.
You are sick. And that's where we are now. This whole Ato is forcing business we are in. Is one that we are told that everything is fine with us. But indeed...
Who tells you?
Oh, Council. I thought I would listen to you.
I wasn't the one who asked the question. He asked me the question.
You exclaimed. You exclaimed.
I sighed.
You sighed.
I sighed.
No, I sighed. You sighed.
I just sighed. I just
whatever that is pinning you.
Okay, so you are not too responsible.
Yes.
So I asked, who is giving you that sort of...
No, to have a whole house, part of the August House of Parliament, waving the white handkerchief saying that Ato is forcing. Indeed...
Oh, but we had a former finance man who even wore white.
Oh, but that is just one person. Okay. But the entire side of the house, they were waving the white handkerchief. That all is well. It's like the doctor telling us all is well. But when I go to the bank to raise a facility to do business, the interest is about 24%, it's about 22%. And that's what Guta is talking about. Then all is not well with me. If we are waving a white handkerchief, meaning, oh, the exchange rate is better, cost of doing business come down, but you have electricity bill skyrocketing. Is it all well with me? No, all is not well with me. There's a problem. You have state agencies, not even private sector, state agencies reviewing their fees and charges, some to over 100%, where all is well, where the economy, all the fundamentals are good. If inflation is about 3%, why will state agencies increase their fees and charges over 100%? Then it means that there's something significant that is significantly wrong with the system we are operating in.
Meaning, well, we're not out of the woods, but it's being communicated like that?
Oh, I admit that as a country we've had our issues. But the impression that we seek to create, it is far from our reality. Our reality is that there are challenges. And I like the fact that this is coming from Guta, not from the MPP. Because you realize how sensitive my brother was the moment he realized that, oh, someone was complaining. And this is Guta. And just as you rightly pointed out, Guta as an organization, no matter which political party is in power, have made their point clearly. But the fact that Guta is talking about it, not the MPP saying that, please, the numbers you are telling us, it is not reflecting in our lives. And they are saying that, oh, well, maybe they should go back door. Back door for where? We are suffering. You don't want us to talk about it.
Oh, no. You see,
allow me to make my point.
The good thing is that previously, 2 years ago,
I
won't get a chance. 2 years ago, yes, 2 years ago, you buy something in the morning, by afternoon you go, the price changes. By evening, the price changes. We don't have that.
Council, the effects
we don't have that
of
today.
this high interest rate is the fact that people will not be able to do business.
What was it under MPP? Tell us.
Oh, so the reset is about MPP.
Oh, no, we have reset it. So tell us.
And the reset is not reflecting, and the people are complaining, and they still want to talk about the MPP. The people, the complaint, the feedback should tell you that what you are praising is not reflected. After all, this whole exercise of changing government is to make our lives better. if we've changed government, if you've given us an indication that things are going well, and the feedback you are getting is that no, things are not improving. My friend was talking about the fact that we are waiting to see the 24-hour economy law reflect, and that is the challenge. You know, the 24-hour economy, we're being told that government is going to employ people, one person, one job, 3 shifts, 3 people. We are not there yet, and already the finance minister says that he has to borrow 17 billion before he could pay workers. What hope does that give you? It is only an indication that what we are being told is not the reality, and the earlier government pays attention to the reality, something that will reflect positively in our lives and not the optics, the better it will be for all of us as a people. Thank you.
Fifi Boafo, thank you so much for passing through. And then also Laya TK, thank you as well.
No, can I just have a second?
They
always refer to 2016. Yes. They don't want us to talk 2 years ago. He's talking about 24-hour economy.
The point is that
Dr. Tutu,
the world did not start in 2022.
Tell us the rate under MPP. You buy even cocoa in the morning, 5 cities. In the afternoon, it's 7 cities. In the night, it's 15 cities.
He needs to look for 17 billion. That's not the reason why we need a 24-hour economy.
Yes. But the 24-hour economy.
All right, gentlemen.
They were going to employ people in government agencies.
Let me look at this LPM.
But those government agencies already said they are not going government agencies.
Let me look at this LPM. That's all right.
The private sector. As for the private sector.
Now,
how have they incentivized?
Now, remember, Big Issue is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast, and whether it is you aiming for that specialist MBA in marketing communications, MBA in operations, supply chain, human resource management, or finance, or entrepreneurship innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through their dual MBA or chartered manager MBA, the University of Gold Coast gives you the options that match your vision. And this is what you need to do. Your next step is an MSc in international relations. They have it as well. Communications degree, international marketing, degrees in international law, that will be MSc as well, security diplomacy, MSc in accounting and finance or HR, and LLM, and as well as in international law, security diplomacy or MA in biblical studies, practical theology. They remain your pathway because it's open. They have their April admissions now on. Make sure you apply. Go to their website, get the latest updates on their socials as well, and call them now. This is what you need to do. They've decided to do this package to make sure they take into consideration your working life, how you have to pay in installment, and so they make it easy for you. Call them on the number 026-388-8555. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.
Adisa+ parental control helps you manage what your kids can watch. Open settings and select parental control. Enable the feature and create a 4-digit PIN. Choose a maximum content rating you're comfortable with. Any content above this rating will require the PIN. Restricted titles appear locked across the app. Trying to play restricted content prompts for the PIN. Correct entry unlocks access for that session. Multiple incorrect attempts can temporarily lock access. Parental control on Adisa+. Available now. Adisa+. Safe streaming your way. Adisa+.
Mr. Soa, Evans, after the show today, we're going to do the Kakalika dance because I say, Wabemina style. You're welcome back. You're watching TV3 Newday. And yes, we promised you interesting conversations on a holiday like this. We're going to have a conversation about trade because despite the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which is supposed to make inter-country trade inter-country trade between African countries very easy, cheaper, and remove all the barriers that used to exist. Still, the trade potential here in Africa still remains underutilized. And among other things, the things we complain of include border delays. Very recently, there have been conversations about the absolutization of certain produce, certain commodities in Ghana to be traded by land. It includes rice, oil, textiles, among other things. And this is something that has raised a lot of concern among traders and consumers alike. This morning, we're going to have a conversation on continental trade. And I have with me in the studio Mr. Stefan Miezan, President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the first Vice President of the Federation of West African Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Pawasi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Great to have you in studio.
Great to be here too.
And happy holiday.
Same to all of us.
Did you bring us Amelia Wachi? That is our greatest need this morning. I speak for everybody in the studio.
That reminds me of when I used to be in the secondary school.
Okay.
Going for morning breakfast, young boys will always go and have Wachi in some corner.
On the side.
Yes.
Instead of the morikoko and bread that the school will provide. Well, good times. Anyway, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
Why is this conversation important?
Now, just like you started, we have the AFTAG, which is supposed to help us to integrate and trade more amongst ourselves, but very little action is seen. The Federation of West African Chambers of Commerce is the block of the West African which is the West African bloc. And we have private sectors, which is also led by the Chambers of Commerce. And we want to bring practicality to some of these things. Like you mentioned, Ghana has indicated that some produce would have to be shipped by sea alone. Recently, Burkina has also blocked the tomatoes. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these things are happening. And all of these things also it's actually affecting trade, which is also an issue of the private sector. So that's why we are gathering tomorrow here in Ghana, all the presidents of the Chambers of Commerce, to be able to look at some of these challenges that we are facing as industry. It is very important because private sector, it's always the engine of growth of every economy. So it is important that we meet tomorrow to discuss these issues.
What time is the summit, and is it open for all to attend? Who can come?
It's tomorrow at 10. It's starting tomorrow at 10. Because of NOMES, we actually put up a Google registration platform, so people are supposed to register. That is one of the ways, and it's also open for other people who are interested, to the captains of industry and members of the business community.
Where is it happening?
It's happening at Labadi Beach Hotel.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
All right. And for those who can't attend in person, I suppose there's a way to attend.
Yes. So we also have the Zoom link. We also have the online version as well.
And where can we find the links?
It's on YouTube. If you go on GNCCI TV on YouTube, you'll find the link there.
All right, great. Now, since the cessation of land, if you like, transportation of some of the produce that the finance minister mentioned, so rice, spaghetti, textiles, among other things.
Tomatoes.
One of the concerns that has been raised is how this, while we appreciate the fact that there are issues of taxation, etc., which the finance minister is trying to contain, have you had conversations about how this possible cost would affect the consumer? Because, land transportation of the goods is definitely cheaper, more convenient, and faster than by sea. So, for example, if I wanted to move spaghetti from Togo to Accra, would that mean that I have to ship the spaghetti from, via sea to Accra? Is this a conversation you've had?
So now this is why we are meeting as industry players, bringing along policymakers and development partners. But this instruction by the finance minister is a way to curtail smuggling and all of those things, and customs issues because of revenue. But haven't considered that. We also have to look at its implication to the private sector. Like you said, if we have to ship everything, if somebody has to bring spaghetti from Togo to Ghana and has to go through sea, how does it affect the consuming public? Cost goes up. So having said that, with the policy that the government has issued, how can the private sector also come in with policy suggestions and policy advocate for the government to look at things like that?
What are some of your suggestions?
They are dicey. Cost is going to go up. Government is also looking at revenue. So how do we come together with our concerns as private sector and government policy and do citizen action towards that, so that in the long run, private sector is not affected. The consuming public is also not affected because cost goes up. So these are some of the things that has made it very important, this gathering of the private sector and policymakers and development.
And how do policies like this also affect our trade relations with our other countries in the sub-region?
So the whole issue of the continental free trade is to be able to trade amongst ourselves.
Yes, the ease and convenience of trade.
Now people are being protective.
Yes.
So you are looking at Burkina Faso, for instance. Okay, you are looking at Ghana. You are looking at so many other regions, sub-regions that are also protecting interests. Not too long ago, you remember Nigeria blocked the borders, not allowing rice to be imported. So all these things are protectionist activities that are going on. But summing it all up, eventually it affects the consumer. Does
it sin against any international conventions?
Not really.
Because aside the AFTA, which is something that we all have signed on to, should I say the policy framework surrounding the idea of ECOWAS itself, one of it is for us to be able to trade easily among ourselves, the ease of trade.
And free movement of people and goods.
Free movement of goods and services and people. So a policy like this that, while the sea option is available, it seems that it sins against the free movement, because transportation by land is cheaper, is easier, is faster, and so on. I'm sure transportation by sea has its perks too, but for the most part, for the goods that have been mentioned, it would appear to me that there's a lot of land trade.
Yes.
Are we not sinning against any international convention?
So that's why I mentioned that a lot of protectionism is going on. We are sinning against even the AFTA agreement. If the whole idea is for us to be able to move people, goods and services across the continent, because the continent trades amongst the trade amongst the continental players is low. And we've come together to say that, look, let us bring policies or anything that allows us to freely move goods and services. Now we are protecting ourselves. Then what would have been the essence of this agreement? So obviously we are sinning against, particularly even the Continental Free Trade Agreement. We are sinning against.
But how have we even gotten here to start? How did we get here to start with? Because it appears it's actually cheaper for us to trade with the world than for us to trade among ourselves. With the Western. It's cheaper, for you to order something from China. On Temu, for example, you will get it faster than sometimes if you try to ship something from South Africa, for example. How did we get here? And from the way you see things, does it look
These are logistical constraints.
Okay.
It is no news that until recently, when you want to ship something to even Nigeria, sometimes it has to get out of the continent, then it comes back into the continent. Okay? So these are logistical constraints. So the gathering of the members of the chambers, the presidents of the chambers of commerce are to look at some of these things. But what is the essence of traveling to Cape Verde or Guinea-Bissau, and then I have to travel to France and come back to Guinea-Bissau? Okay? Even if I have to have a direct flight, why should it be so expensive when it's still within the continent?
So these are things, the reasons why, as private sector and captains of industry, we are meeting to be able to discuss some of these things and be able to get our governments and the state parties to be able to understand it from the private sector perspective. A lot of times, some of these policies are not also done in conjunction or in collaboration with us. So to understand our points, to understand the challenges that the private sector or the views of the private sector are things that are also not well considered. Let me give you a good example. Recently, we've had the government of Ghana and the Chinese government sign a non-tariff agreement.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what it means?
Tell me.
think that is good. And I have advocated that that policy or that agreement is good on the basis that it's going to help us have a lot of machinery and tools for industry. But to say that the agreement is going to allow the Chinese to flood our market with consumable produce, what happens to industry that we are trying to even develop? Okay? So, and all of these things are things that consultations with the private sector should have been very paramount before some of these things are signed on to. So it is very important why the private sector is supposed to gather and have those.
How often do you have this summit?
This is the first of its kind ever happening in Ghana.
Okay.
In Ghana particularly, but the Federation of West African Chambers of Commerce do have it from time to time in different countries, but this is the first time that it's happening in Ghana.
And who is attending?
So we have all of the 12 West African country presidents with their chief executives.
All
of the 12. And then we are also expecting the 3 other Sahelian to come. So we are expecting them to come as well. We have the chief of staff, who is our guest of honor, the Minister of Trade, Honorable Elizabeth, who is also attending with us. Myself also, who is the host. I'm also coming. We have captains of industry in Ghana who are also taking part, and also the membership of the Chambers of Commerce.
It starts at 8 a.m., you said?
10 o'clock.
10 a.m. How long will it run for?
It's a 2-day program.
Okay.
And every day we are expecting it to run for about 4 hours.
4
so
hours.
If it's 10 o'clock, we are expecting to do like up to 2. And there are plenary sections amongst all those in those 2 days.
Okay.
And we have our development partners, Trademark Africa, that is also coming, and the ECOWAS representative is also attending as well.
Okay. Is this event sponsored?
It's supported.
Okay.
It's not sponsored. It's supported.
Do you want to appreciate
So
any
we
of
have GAPOA supporting us because the Sahelian countries import through POA, so they are supporting us. We have Omnicard, which is a company that does fertilizers. They also. Am I supposed to say that?
Oh.
Okay. So we have that. We have Kabaka, and then we have Bui Power.
Okay.
Bui Power is supposed to also export power into some of these countries, so they are also supporting us to be able to do that as well.
All right. Let me just ask you a couple of questions coming in from some of our viewers. Nee wants to know if this is a ticketed event.
No, it's not ticketed.
All right. So anyone can attend?
Yes.
But you need to fill a Google form.
Yes.
That's compulsory.
Not necessarily, but it helps.
But you
At least
recommend that?
It secures you that, yeah.
All right. Now, a lot of these conversations happen, roundtable discussions, big men sit down and talk, but after that, they do nothing. How can we be sure that this is not going to be just one of those talk shops?
I really do not dispute the fact that, as for the talk, it has to go on. But the next steps are citizens' actions. That is, for me, that's how I look at it. Because the talk, definitely you have to talk. You have to bring people's mind, because in governance, there are a lot of things that happens. Even there are emergencies that when government is intending to do something, there could be an emergency that has to divert its attention. So you cannot say that you are not doing a talk, but there are a lot of citizen actions that have to be done after the talking. Yes. So,
this summit is supposed to end with a declaration.
Yes.
What's the content of the declaration?
So we are looking at harmonization of our system. So let me give you a good example. Very recently we were in Burkina Faso, and we realized that their customs system does not integrate with what Ghana has. So people shipping to Burkina would have to wait at the Paga border for a very long time because everything has to be translated into the French side for them to understand before it's agreed for it to. So we are looking at that connectivity of our region is also important. Those are some of the things, and then we are also looking at issues of youth. I think I didn't mention that issues of youth. You know, the population of the West African region is largely on the youth side and also women. So there are programs that we are also discussing that will bring the youth in focus in this. Is
this a mentorship of sorts initiative?
Yes, mentorship. And the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce has instituted something we call the junior chambers. That is having the chambers of commerce on every tertiary institution, campus of every tertiary institution. You know, currently we do have the TESCON and then the TAIN, which is primarily for politicians. So the Chamber of Commerce has also instituted a junior chamber that is training the youth and mentoring them and hand-holding them in an enterprise.
From an early
so
stage.
It's something that we want to scale it across the West African bloc.
Okay.
So that's one of the major things that we
So this is something we've started in Ghana already?
Yes, we started already.
What are they called?
Junior chamber.
Junior chamber.
Yeah. So it's based on the institution. So last week we've done the technical university.
Okay.
We had done UG, the University of Ghana. Last week we did Kumasi KNUST, and then we have just come from Takwa UMAT that we are doing, and now we are looking at UPS and all other institutions.
Interesting. How long ago did this start?
Oh, we started just last year.
Last year?
Yes. You know, I have been president.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have been president since last year.
Okay.
Yes. So since I became president, we've done that. And then
I think it's a step in the right direction.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because matters of trade sometimes are not very easily digestible by young people. Yes. Because we don't really, in university, secondary school and so on, we don't hear anything about these things.
So that's the gap that we saw.
Until you enter industry and then you find that you have to learn, you know, on the ground, hit the ground running. Yes. And a lot of the learnings are informal.
Yes. So that's the gap that we saw, and then we are bringing them to our membership. The Chamber of Commerce has over 10,000 members. So we are availing our membership to the youth so that our members can absorb them if they have internship spaces, train them on challenges of business. You prepare them. Even before they get out of school, they know that, okay, you have to register a business. It's a requirement. You have to be paying your tax. These are the things that are challenged. So these are things that we are doing.
I think it's a step in the right direction. A lot of young people are now entrepreneurial.
Yes.
And, you know, you finish school, you start your business, you don't know your elbow from your fingers. Like, you don't know where to, even how to register a business. And people are doing the wrong thing and getting on the wrong side of the law,
that's true.
especially with GRA and so on. So I think that's a great step in the right direction.
Thank you. So we want to scale it across the West African bloc.
I see. Junior chamber, and it's available in the universities.
Yes.
I see. So perhaps if you're watching and your child is in the university, you should ask them to look out for the junior chamber and join. All right. Aside these, are there any other expected outcomes we haven't spoken about?
Most importantly, for us, it's not just meeting, talking, but our expectation is that our various governments, the heads of government, would need to understand the challenges of the private sector, bring us along, and then be able to implement some of the suggestions that we are going to come up with to ensure that, at least, first of all, the West African bloc is well integrated, not just by fiscal infrastructure, also by technology. Just as I gave you the example, you are exporting from Ghana to Burkina, and because of interface challenges, you have to wait for days and those. So those are some of the things that we are looking at. We're also looking at the youth empowerment, youth and women empowerment as well of the West African bloc. Yes.
All right. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Stefan Maizan. Great to have you in studio. All the best with the summit tomorrow, and on Wednesday, we'll be joining you, hopefully.
Thank you.
At 10 a.m. at Labadi Beach Hotel.
Labadi Beach Hotel.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
And we encourage you to sign up on the Google form so that we know who is coming and prepare adequately for you. If you agree that trade across the West African sub-region is underutilized and there's so much more we need to do, this is a summit for you to attend and be a part of. All right, still to come, we have more conversations on the show. You're watching TV3 Newday. Please stay with us. This is a holiday edition. I've got 15,000 CDs to give away to 4 of you. 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and 5,000. And so dial star 439 hash and you just might win. Now, Easter is just around the corner. If you have a beachcation in mind, then create unforgettable memories at the beach with this wonderful offer. Bring your family and friends and book for all-inclusive 3 nights package from the 3rd to the 6th of April, starting from 5,100 Ghana cedis for a couple. We've also got early bird discounts. Book and pay before the 25th of March and save 10% extra. The package offers our guests free access to all in-house facilities, swimming pool, gym, cinema with popcorn, board games, snooker, and more. You also enjoy free airport pickup from Takrade on Friday the 5th. Terms and conditions apply, of course. We've got fun activities including live band, in-house carnivals, splash playground for the kids, sip and paint, bicycle rides to Maha Village, jet ski, banana boat, party bus ride, trip to Inzulezu, and so much more. Call for your reservation now to avoid disappointment. Call us on 030-3977-773 or 050-157-0684. All right, so we're inviting you to Maha Village. Come and enjoy Easter with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
have flooded social media, raising questions about the failure of authorities to protect consumers. Fruits sprayed with coloring to deceive buyers, and fish preserved with formalin, a chemical meant for embalming the dead, end up on dinner tables. Reports of beans mixed with cement, plantain chips fried in plastic, and paracetamol used to soften beans paint a chilling picture of what we eat. At Medina Market, traders insist they use safe traditional methods, claiming they eat from the same food they sell.
The
chemical is not to kill, but to preserve the tomatoes. I've been hearing about it. When you use chemicals on the fish, it tears it apart, but I only use salt.
They use chemical, that's for sea, but river fish we don't use chemical. When they pour the chemical on the water, it will call the fish so that they'll get more. That's sea, but river there, we don't use that chemical to catch it.
Associate Professor of Food Science and Technology at the University of Ghana, Agnes Simpson-Budu, highlights the dangerous use of formalin in fish preservation.
Fish that is being displayed on the open, or Kobe, that normally attract flies, and I go and there are no flies hovering on it. I won't buy, because they add formalin. This formalin is supposed to be used for embalming dead bodies. So they use it on the fish, and it puts the flies off because it's preserving the fish, but it's not the right preservatives to be used.
On TV3, and that report was put together by my colleague Beatrice Soa, really highlighting the dangers of the chemicals being used by some of our market women or traders just to preserve food, perhaps without getting to really understand the implications on our health. And I do have in the studio with us Mr. Yakubu Adam. Yeah. He's a toxicologist. Good morning. And happy Salah. Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Yes, I hope it's been a good holiday for you so far.
We are still in it. We are still in the festive mood. So we are still in the celebration mood.
Okay.
From here, I'm going to continue.
Okay, that's nice. So really, we just watched a bit of really what people are doing. But you were telling me earlier, even before we came here, that it looks like it's a bit more than we've even covered. Tell us how much of this you know. Yeah. And the implications. For instance, each of them, the cement for the beans, what it means for us, the formalin for the fish, and also we saw the paracetamol to soften the beans.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, and good morning again to you and your cherished viewers and listeners, and Eid Mubarak to my Muslim brothers and sisters. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadah and grant us the full blessing of the Ramadan. As I indicated earlier, when I had the interview with you the other time, I indicated that we are actually a working experiment, actually waiting for the outcome, because day in, day out, whatever we eat, whatever we are exposed to are chemicals that can have health impacts. For instance, we started with the cement, so we realized that the cement was used in preserving our beans, but I think FDA has refuted that report that is not found in our jurisdiction. However, maybe it is being done in other jurisdictions, but maybe we've not seen it in Ghana yet. But why did they have to use cement? Because, you know, when you put even cement down, it has the tendency to attract moisture, atmospheric moisture. So mostly they use them in aiding in drying the beans, because it help attract the moisture from the beans, so that it quickens the drying process. So that's why basically they use that. But, you know, after they use this, and if you bag the beans, you are likely to have your food contaminated with these materials.
So they use it to dry the beans?
The beans.
Wow.
You know, when you leave your cement down, you know it's cake.
Yes.
How does it cake? Because it actually traps atmospheric moisture. So the same way, when you found around the beans, it traps the moisture from the beans, quicken the drying process. But you know that when these beans are not washed well and ends up in our system, it can lead to gastrointestinal obstruction in our gut, which can also lead to a lot of other complications.
Like what?
Like wearing now, it can lead to ulcer, ulcerative, not the ulcer we know, but maybe the ulceration of our colon and what have you. So it's not supposed to actually be used as a food grade or be found in our food. Because when you take our food, we have, when you take the Codex Alimentarius book, it's actually a guidelines that actually tells us how food must be preserved. And there are a list of food additives you can add. And cement is not of a food additive, so it shouldn't be part of our food.
So the operation you talked about, how dangerous is that?
Yes, so when you take the particle, even when the material gets into you, because your guts are already in an aqueous environment, it has the ability to now form a hardened particle. And when you are trying to pass to bringing them out, these things are going to wear away or are going to tear away the passage or the guts in there. So and you end up having some kind of bleeding. Or bleeding. I mean, your fecal matter, you'll be having what we call, blood in there and what have you.
Is there another way of saying internal bleeding?
Internal bleeding is actually happens internally, when there's a distraction or a burst in an artery or a vein in our system. But this one, we're talking about the GIT.
Wow.
That's the guts, yeah.
And again, the bit about the usage of paracetamol to soften the beans.
Yeah.
What's the implication of that on our health?
Yeah, paracetamol is known as a painkiller.
Yes.
So we know paracetamol as a painkiller. We don't know paracetamol as a food addictive. And it's not recognized by the FDA as an addition to our food. We take them when necessary. Yes, to avoid the implications that comes with even paracetamol. When you take in paracetamol overdose, it has the ability to produce an intermediate metabolite that can destroy our kidney. Then N-acetyl para-benzoquinone amine. This is actually an intermediate metabolite associated with paracetamol. So we don't even abuse our paracetamol or overdose paracetamol. So imagine adding this paracetamol to your food. And why did I have to even add it to your food? It says it can serve as a tenderizer for our meat. Reducing the cooking time for our meat, reducing the cooking time for our beans and everything. Yes, but that shouldn't be what should be used in there. We have our alternatives that can be used. But we end up going for the quicker one, which is the paracetamol. So we're actually killing ourselves. So imagine you're actually overdosing paracetamol in you whilst you don't know. Because it has the ability to actually deplete certain antioxidants in us, leading to hepatitis or liver problem. For paracetamol, its major effect is on the liver, though it has some other significant impact on other organs. But the major one is the liver.
And then perhaps the last one I'll touch on is the formalin they use for the fish.
Yeah, formalin, we know formalin to be an embalmer. We used to embalm dead body. We used to preserve dead body. And when we used to preserve dead body, it's actually allow longevity of the dead body and it will not get deteriorated or decomposed. So when you apply it on your fishes, like live animals, for instance, or the dead animals, for instance, it's preserved them for a very long time. And this has been a practice that other people are trying to employ by making sure that it actually keeps their fish for a very long time. Nobody wants to buy fish. If you don't buy, I have to place them in the fridge. And remember, I have to pay electricity to power my fridge. So if there's another alternative to use formalin, people will go in for formalin. And because of when it comes to light out, infrequent light out and everything, you will not have your product get spot. But formalin is not a food grade substance. So formalin shouldn't actually be found in our food, but we end up getting formalin in our food. And formalin has been known by the International Agency for Research on Cancer to be a group 1 carcinogen. When they say group 1 carcinogen, meaning there's no two way out it. It can lead to myeloid leukemia, that is the cancer of the white blood cells in our bloodstream. Yes, this is more deadlier. It can also cause some respiratory distress, leading to pneumonia and what have you. That's the formalin.
Please, let me get your final word on what you believe can be done to, stop these things happening, aside from the statement we saw earlier from the Food and Drugs Authority?
Yeah, Food and Drug Authority are doing their work. They cannot be everywhere because they are charged by Part 6, Part 7, Part 8 of the Public Health Act, but they cannot actually be everywhere to actually see to it that you are not using paracetamol for whatever you are doing. You know, they can't be everywhere. So we have to, first of all, be more conscious about whatever we are doing. We should be driven by economic gains and end up killing ourselves. You know, the Bible even says we should love our neighbors as ourselves. So we cannot be, because of our economic gains, we end up killing ourselves and what have you. And I also treat the Ministry of Health. You know, the Ministry of, the FDA is actually an agency under the Ministry of Health. They can help secure FDA offices across all the 16 regions. Currently, other 6 regions have no FDA offices, and they operate from their parents or their used to be office. So, and I think FDA offices must also be decentralized to the district level, so that it shouldn't be the regional level and what have you. So I think if FDA is also decentralized, it will help us go into the district and also find out what is being done right and what is being done wrong. And I think with that, it will help mitigate the problem that we see.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adam Yakubu,
Thank you for having
or Yakubu Adam, actually, for coming in and sharing your thoughts with us. And Mr. Yakubu Adam is a toxicologist, helping us to understand the impact of these products or chemicals they are putting in our foods. And of course, we'll make time to bring you a lot more about the impact of these. We want to help you celebrate your birthday, and perhaps I can start from here. Rosamond Khan, who is a shop manager, Chic by Siba in East Legon. Happy birthday to you, and we wish you all the best for the day. And we'll continue with the birthdays. But this March celebrates the spirit of Ghana at Achimota Retail Center with the exciting Celebrate Ghana activity lineup. Enjoy ethnic-focused music performances that celebrate the sounds of Ghana and amazing shopping experiences all weekend in March. And while you're shopping, don't miss the Shop Ghana Win promotion. Simply shop from our Ghanaian retailers, Gamel Clothing, any accessories, and the Chop Bar, and stand a chance to win shopping vouchers. Plus, there's more excitement with our Dance Ghana in a 15 seconds challenge online at Achimota Retail Center on Facebook, IG, and TikTok, and a special Eid Holiday Vibes celebrations later in the month. So gather your family and friends and come experience the colors, sounds, and flavors of Ghana. Celebrate Ghana this March at Achimota Retail Center, where culture meets shopping. Achimota Retail Center, your vibes. So let's cash out. We did tell you that today we're giving 15,000 Ghana cedis, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and another 5,000. So let's find out which of you has won perhaps the first, which is 2,000 Ghana cedis. The numbers are scrolling. Okay, who is winning this on this holiday today? Numbers scrolling. Okay, 0247 413 -- Congratulations to you. If it's your number, you won yourself, I believe, 2,000 Ghana cedis. Yes. And I did say that we're going to help you celebrate your birthday. So if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. And we okay, Sandra Dodu, enjoy your beautiful day. Kids 48, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my dear twins, Jeffrey and Jennifer. And that's coming from your mom. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Among. Happy birthday to you, Gina Asare. Happy birthday to you. Mrs. Omani Vondi Davidella. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Anita. More blessings. Makafui Angelina Efwa Adam. Happy birthday to you. Okay, that's actually Andani's daughter. It was her birthday over the weekend. Happy birthday to you. Makafui Koko, happy birthday to you. Melissa Na Adi, happy birthday to you. Madam Stella Aquile, happy birthday to you, ma'am. Mrs. Esther Mamiesi Daniels, happy birthday to you. God bless you. Lady Patience Norte, happy birthday to you, ma'am. 78th birthday to Pastor Hubert Nana Shraha of Pando. Happy birthday to you, 78. Wow. Veronica Dedo Sakite, happy birthday to you, ma'am. Mr. Osefwa Safas, happy birthday to you, sir. Marilyn Elinam Opari Akins, happy birthday to you. Mrs. Esther Mamiesi Daniels, the Lord bless you and keep you for your children. Okay. Togbi Kekosi, the Ace, happy birthday to you, Togbi. Emmanuel Nyantang, happy birthday to you, sir. Mrs. Phyllis Che, happy birthday. Honorable Barnabas Annan, happy birthday to you. Deborah Mankwa, happy birthday to you, ma'am. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. There's also happy birthday to manager of Prince of Peace Company in Mampong. God bless you from your sister Selena Inkum. Happy birthday to all of you. Yes.
I have an allergy for you, Beatrice.
Aish. Alhaji.
I have an allergy for you, Beatrice.
What is the Alhaji saying?
I've asked him to bring your bride price.
Aish.
So you'll know on your wedding day.
But you can't say that. You can't give him permission. My dad has to give him the permission.
Oh, your dad and I are homeboys. Anyway, it's been a good morning on the show today. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope you're enjoying the last of the long weekend.
Yes.
The week starts tomorrow. The working week starts tomorrow. So try to get some rest, sleep in, eat well, and enjoy the rest of the holiday. This has been TV3 Newday, coming to you live from our studios here in Kanda. My name is Na Ashoko.
My name is Beatrice. Thank you so much for joining us. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.